What do you hear? What do you say? 604 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane off and running. Brian here with you. Bree Lynn producing, starting you off at 56 degrees and a ton of fog in downtown Baton Rouge. Broadcasting live from the 180 Pro studio. 180 Pros, not your IT provider, your IT partner. We're digging inside the 5th District race for Congress today. Dixon McMakin is out. Blake Miguez is in studio coming up at 8:15. We got a number of different things to talk about with that race, but we got a number of different things to talk about overall. So let's dive in. Top stories and trending. A portion of Bluebonnet Boulevard will have partial road closures over the next month. City of St. George said yesterday that from Gale Drive to Jefferson Highway, Bluebonnet will be under construction from February 12th to March 12th. The 5 suspects tied to a Mardi Gras parade shooting in Clinton that injured 5 people, including a child, are being held each on $1.8 million bond. 21-year-old Cameron Barfield, 19-year-old Noah Baskine, 16-year-old Malik Liggins, 25-year-old Philip Williams, and 18-year-old DeTraylon White were all arrested within the last 2 weeks on various charges for their alleged roles in the shooting. Less than 2 weeks after announcing his intentions to run for the seat representing Louisiana's 5th Congressional District, State Representative Dixon McMakin says he is no longer running for Congress. McMakin said he will refocus his efforts locally to support infrastructure repairs, advance flood control projects along the Amite and Comite rivers, and implement tougher measures to combat crime. Left out of that statement, time to tackle the state constitution, boss. A man was shot to death in a Perkins Row parking garage on Monday evening. The shooting happened around 9:15 p.m. The garage behind the Cinemark movie theaters where this happened. The man was pronounced dead at the scene, and that is all the information that we have on that particular incident. Takes you down to New Orleans. An unattended AR-15 was found in the bathroom of a French Quarter hotel on Sunday, left behind by a Louisiana National Guardsman, according to WWL-TV. The news outlet said a photo of the assault rifle leaning against a bathroom sink in the Lafitte Hotel on Bourbon Street was posted on social media. Quote, the weapon was returned to the Louisiana National Guard. The soldier and incident are being handled internally, said Lieutenant Colonel Noel Collins.
Handled internally.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, sometimes you got to use the bathroom.
That's, well,
I mean, what are you supposed to do with an AR-15 when you got to take a deuce?
I don't.
Do you hang it on like the hook of the?
So I don't know enough about the story to know, was this in a hotel room bathroom or a lobby bathroom?
Most important question, all joking aside, was it loaded?
That's a very.
Was there
good
one
question.
in the chamber?
There's very good bathroom pun. That's your top stories. Here we go. What you got, Breland?
All right, get ready for congressional theatrics. The House Homeland Security Committee will be questioning and hearing testimony from numerous higher-ups at ICE today. Ooh, just about to get messy.
Yeah, that's yeah. It's going to get I'm sure on both sides of the aisle. On the side of the praise and on the side of the hate. It's going to be.
Well.
Wow.
In the elephant in the room, all right, testimony from local officials and residents paints a very different picture of what's happening on the ground in Minnesota.
Yeah.
So it's just, okay. 9 medal events take place at the Olympics today. And yes, men's 20-kilometer biathlon is among one of them.
Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Let's go ski. Let's go shoot all at the same time.
So I'll turn.
It's not an AR-15.
No.
You don't shoot an AR-15 in the biathlon.
I just,
That's
just shoot them. I watched curling yesterday. It's interesting.
Isn't it fun? It's weirdly fun. The sweeping to create the pat, it's the way that they do it. It's, I don't know. It's a sport that nobody ever thought of, and then about 30 years ago, somebody said this is pretty cool, and it's growing a cult following.
Love it. Love it. All right. According to a leading payroll company, roughly 13 million Americans actually scheduled the day off yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
No count on how many just called in sick after the Super Bowl.
So, telling you, make it a national half day. We don't have national half days. Make the day after the Super Bowl
so
a national
European.
What?
That's so European.
I'm not saying you need the whole day off, but you do need a little bit of rest. They kick that thing off at 5:30. You have an unbelievably long game, an unbelievably long halftime. You're making poor dietary choices and poor drinking choices.
So, as the non-sports guy in the room,
Mhm.
why is the Super Bowl traditionally? Yes, I get it. It's Super Bowl Sunday. Why is it traditionally Sunday and not another day of the week?
Also, very good question.
I wonder too.
Why don't we just make the Super Bowl on Saturday?
Yeah,
it's a very good question.
Would it make more sense?
It would. It absolutely would. I don't know.
Or at least at noon on Sunday. Something. Why does it have to be so late?
I don't mind it being late. It creates more atmosphere. It gives you more ramp-up time, more pregame time, more, now let's celebrate the last 20 Super Bowl running. Like, it just,
True.
There's more time for the pageantry of it all. But you could do all that on a Saturday, for sure.
Yeah, very true.
I'm sorry. Would your bamboo fields and electrical poles be less enjoyed if it were Saturday versus Sunday?
I don't know what that means.
That was the halftime show.
Hey,
I'm corrected. It was sugarcane, not bamboo.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
She got corrected.
I'm sorry.
Yesterday.
How culturally insensitive of me. It's not corn, it's sugarcane. And
are y'all hearing?
Puerto Rico is in fact an American territory. How unwoke of me.
Oh, God.
Here's a good question for you. Has anybody gotten the translation of what his songs are about?
Yes, and I forgot. It was just something along the lines of you go ahead, Brian.
Ridiculous levels of misogyny.
Oh, see, I wasn't going down that rabbit hole.
Remarkably offensive and sexual.
Ooh.
That's what I hear.
That's why
I don't know. I don't
did it
speak
all in
Spanish. I don't speak Spanish.
Bigger question. Let's say I get married again one day. That could happen.
Sure.
Would I want to get married during the halftime
Absolutely
show?
not. Absolutely not.
I mean, I guess it's completely dependent on who's playing, right? Bad Bunny, maybe not. There might be some artists that I'm like,
Metallica or somebody.
Dude, Enter Sandman while I'm taking my vows. That rocks. Pun intended.
Yes. It's 6:11 at Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. Before we take our first break, let me remind you about the folks over at Mathern's. No, king cake season isn't over with yet, y'all. In fact, we've got 1 week to go before Fat Tuesday. So, your king cake headquarters is the Mathern's at Kenilworth. You walk in there, you'll see the giant alligator display. And while Mathern's has awesome king cakes from top to bottom, they've brought in an all-star lineup. They've brought in the Nona Rendazzos, the Haydels, the Ubigs, the Coludas, the Joe's Cafe. I honestly can't list them all because I would forget a few. But you want king cakes, either traditional, filled, the wedding cake, king cake is it's beyond compare, or going with that all-star roster, the folks that you've known and loved king cakes from for generations. They've got them all over at Mathern's. Also, don't forget Spanish Town's coming up on Saturday. When you head out to the route, anything you forgot, anything you ran out of, they've got Mathern's downtown is there for you all Spanish Town Saturday long. It's Mathern's. Oh.
No court today.
You good to go till 7?
I can go till 7. I got to get back to Mercy at 7:45.
I think you'll make it.
I'm going to go Florida, but then cut over before Marquette, because Marquette's the problem at that time. Because by the time I get down there, it'll be backed up.
Why Florida?
It's like the Audubon in the morning going in that direction.
North Boulevard.
Well, I could do that too. North Boulevard all the way to South Foster to
government, and then you don't have to worry about
the backside. Yeah.
If you take North Boulevard, I don't think there's traffic for Baton Rouge High on the backside.
So
actually, you know what? Thinking about Baton Rouge High, you might want to take Florida.
So I don't know if you follow Court TV news. It was sold yesterday by Scripps News to Law and Crime.
What the hell is that?
It's another.
What?
Its point is, changes are coming.
Oh,
changes are coming.
You moving to Atlanta?
No. I got a 10-year-old. I can't lawfully move to Atlanta without
building a studio here and taking advantage of flood tax credits.
I'm all about though designing a suitcase that can be breathed through and maybe put Fisher in the suit. That child abuse. little
You
child.
plan on flying with that?
Yeah.
By the way,
I guess I have to get him his own seat.
we're a week and a half into February. Was McDonald's just getting rid of old cups?
You know, I thought about that this morning. I felt we could do a bit. I felt we could do a bit. I felt we could do a bit on McDonald's and the Grinch coffee. Now, I do not blame a company. Hold on. I do not blame a company for saying, hey, we got all these cups left over. We ain't sitting on these for a year. Let's use them.
Oh, so you got that this morning?
Mm-hmm. This is not like this is a coffee. Like.
Oh, so you stopped by McDonald's.
It was, I'm sorry, it was open this morning. Sometimes it's like 5:30, it's not even open. So
I thought you just had that sitting in your cabinet.
I don't mind. Listen, I do not mind Christmas in February. This is a Grinch. Yeah, this is a Grinch coffee McCafe. Yeah.
Stairs. 6:16. Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. It is sports time, and it is baseball week out at the box. Yes, the baseball season begins on Friday. Game week is finally here for the Tigers, welcoming in Milwaukee for a 3-game set. First game, Friday, 2 p.m. Fifth-year senior infielder Seth Dardar is one of the new transfers LSU added in the offseason. He's actually a Mandeville native. Says he was only in the portal for an hour before committing to the Tigers. Cut 16, please.
When I was going into the portal, obviously I knew I wanted to come here. I wanted to come home and be close to family and come to LSU. But yeah, when Jay called me, I was super happy, super excited. It's something I dreamed of my entire life. So when he called, I told him, I'm ready to do this. I want to come home.
LSU sophomore catcher Cade Aaron Beatty enters his second year with the program after putting together an impressive freshman season. Last year, Aaron Beatty hit .242 with 4 home runs, 14 RBI in 36 games. Aaron Beatty says his main focus in the offseason was improving his plate discipline.
Now that I've got that experience and got a year under my belt and now have a chance to be in the lineup pretty often, I think if I really hone in on my swing decisions and really make sure that I'm going at the right pitches, at the right counts, right time, I could really impact the baseball. So that's something that me, Coach Johnson, and Chief have all been working on together and working hard on that.
Zach Cowan's back on the hill this year, striking out 60 batters last year in 52 innings of work. Cowan only threw a fastball and a changeup last season. Said he has added to that arsenal.
I've added a couple pitches, kind of things that just give me a little more leeway with hitters and stuff like that. But fastball changeup will always be there for me. But there's definitely some other stuff that I've been working on too.
Thank you to Louisiana Radio Network for rounding up the audio on that one. First game, like we said, Friday. First pitch is slated for 2 p.m. Now, we can also tell you that Friday, 20% chance of rain. Saturday, an 80% chance of rain when the Tigers are supposed to play at 1 p.m. Sunday, there's a 1 p.m. first pitch. And then Monday, LSU's got Kent State. So you're playing straight through the weekend, of course, weather permitting right there. I'm looking at the early schedule for the Tigers. I don't know anything about Milwaukee as far as a baseball program is concerned, nor do I know about Kent State. But, like, LSU will go Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, take one day off, and then play again against Nichols on Wednesday. That's like an afternoon game as well. Another 1 p.m. start time, taking on Nichols on Wednesday. Oh, you told me one. Okay. Sorry. Keeping it with that, after they take on Nichols on Wednesday, LSU will head to Jacksonville, Florida, which I kind of like because they're going to the Jacks College Baseball Classic, where they'll take on Indiana, Notre Dame, and Central Florida. 3 different teams, 3 different, like, completely different programs along the way. But just getting outside of the box, high-level competition early on in the season helps kind of fine-tune that roster on the front end. So looking forward to that. Baseball season about to be underway. Meanwhile, basketball season continues. Men's basketball continuing tonight, 8 p.m. start time. LSU is hosting Arkansas. You'll recall back during the freeze, LSU played at Arkansas and played the heck out of the Dogs there. Lost 81-85, but they'll get their rematch tonight. 8 p.m. You'll hear that on our sister station, Eagle 98.1. All right, here comes the Fox Business Report on Talk 107.3.
So,
sorry. You said 1 minute. You said 1 minute. You meant 2. That my bad. I should have.
My brain was telling me.
Yeah.
That's my bad.
So I got fingerprinted yesterday, so I could do some volunteer work at my kid's school.
Yeah,
and that's not the fun part of the story. The fun part of the story is, remember Gary, the doodle who caused an open fracture, emergency surgery on my finger. So I'm good friends with the head of the fingerprinting at the state police, Department of Public Safety. And I was like, hey, if you have an open fracture, emergency surgery, like reconstruct, whatever, does that change your fingerprint? And she said, yes and no. She said, it depends on the nature of the cuts and this, that, and the other. So when I put my finger, it's all digital now. It's not, there's no ink or anything. They scan it. So when I put my finger on there, it actually showed irregularity. But here's the kicker. Every time you go get fingerprinted, they keep track of that printing and your original fingerprinting. So they can track deviation and change over time. It's the cool, like I'm geeking out at state police headquarters yesterday. Oh yeah. It was great. Bag me and tag me. So you think she's still alive? Or do you think she's dead?
If she's still alive, it's definitely a family member.
It's an inside job.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think she's long since dead and her body's been dumped somewhere.
Oh.
Well, they were looking in the sewer at her house.
Yeah, I don't think her body's anywhere near her house. I think like
it's off in the forest somewhere.
Yeah.
Desert.
Ocean.
Oh.
You think they drove?
When's Shark Week again? Yeah. When's Shark Week again?
Mid-July.
I'm just getting ready for Shark Week. Shark Week brought to you by the Borgardt Law Firm.
God.
What kind of shark do you want representing you? The Borgardt Law Firm.
Oh.
We're actually looking pretty good out there right now. Interstate systems, you're going to find your normal delays on 12 westbound out by Range Avenue. Really, really not a whole lot, though. It picks back up after you pass Range and stays clear all the way through the 10-12 merge. Meanwhile, 10 westbound, it's doing its normal thing. We're looking good all the way coming in from Ascension Parish. 10 eastbound coming back from West Baton Rouge, also golden right now, as is 110. There are no surface street accidents to report, so let me just add this in here. We do still have a ton of fog out there, and the further you get from downtown, the thicker it gets. So please, budget yourself a little bit of extra time if you can this morning to make sure that while we have a nice morning to start off traffic-wise, it doesn't go sideways quick. So that's your look at traffic from the Talk 107.3 Traffic Center. .623 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. Normally we talk with Franz Borgardt for Legally Served on a Wednesday. However, tomorrow the show will be on location. The good folks over at Advantage Consulting are paying to have me pack up and head on over to LABI's annual meeting. We will be broadcasting live from the Louisiana Association of Business and Industry's annual meeting. That's over at the Crown Plaza tomorrow. I look forward to this every single year, y'all. If you regularly listen to the show, you know my 3 prep points for the upcoming legislative session: Washington Mardi Gras, Lobby's annual meeting, and the Pelican Institute Solution Summit. After those three, I am golden. I know exactly what to look for in the session. It's like my whole, preseason for the session. So big day coming up tomorrow as we'll talk to a whole bunch of folks from LABI and a number of different industries that LABI is dialed in on. Focus on AI for sure. All right. Right now, though, since tomorrow we're on the road, today we do Legally Served. Good morning, Franz.
Here for you.
I appreciate that greatly.
No, it's not about the viewers or the listeners. It's not about.
It's 100%.
It's not about Condit down the hallway. It's about Brian Haldane.
No, it is not.
Brian Haldane reaches out and says, "I need to do some shuffling." I'm like, "I'm there." Franz Borgardt's like the Shawn Michaels of the legal commentary world. I didn't say Ric Flair. Shawn Michaels. I wish I was the Ric Flair of the legal commentary world.
Rocco's coming in Friday, so
I got to tell you. Last thing before we talk law, I got to tell you, I saw a Rocco video on TikTok.
I know which one it is.
That simultaneously brought me joy and envy.
Really?
Joy in the sense that it was the most hilarious thing. It was Rocco as the Godfather.
Mm-hmm.
Envy in that I was just immediately dovetailed into I need to one-up Rocco.
No.
I don't think I can.
Mm-mm.
I don't think I can.
You don't want to. You don't want to try.
So.
That what he did on that day, there are 3 Rocco moments in the history. We bring him on once a month. We talk po' boys. We talk about it goes sideways. I would just say that. There are 3 Rocco moments that are beyond compare. The first one, when he talked about injuring himself on his honeymoon doing a dismount off the ceiling fan. The second one was when he dressed up as a crusader for Christ. That's where we got the Excalibur. Mm-hmm. The Excalibur.
All those pale in comparison.
ACTS, Excalibur, which is still in the studio today. And then the third one was when he came in. No, if you had seen the metal mesh costume that was the Crusader.
It was impressive.
Yes, but the Godfather sprayed silver in the hair. He had a little cat with him.
He's a showman.
Yeah.
He's like a Bad Bunny showman.
No. He's way better than Bad Bunny.
More like Chris Rock showman. I didn't really watch either. They started talking.
You mean Kid Rock?
Chris Rock.
Difference between
Chris Rock was the one who got slapped. Kid Rock was the one who did the other halftime show. Mm-hmm. And when Bad Bunny started speaking a lot of Spanish or singing a lot of Spanish, I was like, I don't have Google Translate around me, so I'm out.
Yeah.
So we're here today. You're sitting here with the Shawn Michaels of legal commentary, Franz Borgardt. We are talking today about something that has hit the national news. It's been kind of going on. Mm-hmm. It's kind of got a Silence of the Lambs feel to it. Like, is Mama kidnapped? Is Mama ransomed? So I'm gonna let you set it up.
So we're talking about the Nancy Guthrie story today, and I hesitated to do this because honestly, there's a part of me that hates the sideshow that is everyone breaking this down in real time. Yes, officials are doing everything that they can. And yes, the news does need to cover it, but it is transferred over to that part where this family's tragedy is everyone's entertainment. But I wanted to take a look at a couple of the legal possibilities here. What happens if she just went missing and the ransom notes are fake? What kind of legal ramifications are there for fake ransom notes? Are the charges different? Do things look differently if this was a random stranger who kidnapped her or a family member who kidnapped her? What are, as things play out, we're going to start to learn more details. Hopefully we will eventually learn more details, but I wanted to start working down the not the full on hypothetical, but possibilities if we could. So that being said, the latest on Nancy Guthrie is the latest from Pima County Sheriff on Monday. There was an active law enforcement presence at the Guthrie residences over the weekend. That activity will continue as part of the ongoing investigative process, including the expansion of the search and follow-up on new leads, all part of the process as they continue to work. Another video was put out pleading with those who have potentially taken Nancy Guthrie. So that's where all of this is right now. We got news, traffic, weather coming your way in just a quick second. On the back end of news, traffic, and weather, that's where we're going to start to explore the different possibilities. What is this looking like from a legal perspective? Franz is in here exactly for that. Hey, while we have a minute, let me remind you one more time. Well, I'll remind you 2 more times about Carnival at Kenilworth. Carnival season is here. Mathern's wants to put a fresh king cake in your hands. Simply go to talk1073.com. Click on the contest tab to enter every Thursday through Mardi Gras. That means we got 1 more to go. We'll pick a winner on Thursday. King cake will be waiting for you at the Kenilworth location of Mathern's. Happy Mardi Gras from Mathern's and Talk 107.3. It's 6:30 at Talk 107.3 FM. News, traffic, weather. Franz is up to bat next. It's hot as balls in here today. And good morning, Christy.
I just literally texted your wife about a volunteer-related thing. And she gave me I'm not at work yet. Don't text me this early, Franz. She didn't say that, but. So you do all this stuff to do the volunteer work, right? You got to jump through some hoops, background check, fingerprinting. You got to watch a video and all that stuff. But there's nothing definitive to tell you, like, when can you officially, like, I know I don't have a criminal record. I think.
As soon as the office gets the clearance and it's signed off on,
they're like
principal.
Rubber stamping me.
Oh, Byron has a good point, y'all.
What?
You said, I've heard it explained that the game is on a Sunday to give the host city an extra day to reap the economic benefits. That makes sense.
That does make sense. But I would think that on the front end, so during a Super Bowl week, Monday and Tuesday are kind of low key. Radio Row on Monday and Tuesday aren't really thumping. And the city, like, I'm basing this off of New Orleans from last year. The city runs about, I don't know, it's not full yet. You don't take advantage of a Wednesday, Thursday. That's when it really ramps up. So I wonder if they moved it up to Saturday, would the Wednesday move up to Tuesday?
Right.
And you could set that tone very easily by putting in a mandatory minimum night stay.
So I cared neither about the Seahawks nor the Patriots. I have 2 brothers. I have 3 brothers total. 2 are diehard Patriots fans. I had to endure the Tom Brady fest era, where it was like Tom Brady would fart and it was like, oh, it's a Tom Brady fart. It's so magical. So I was watching the game with one of my friends. I could not have cared less. Even the commercials were kind of meh this year. There were a couple of good ones, like the Emma Stone commercial.
That was my favorite.
That was my favorite commercial, where she's throwing the laptop. Like, that was awesome. The other ones,
she has remarkable comedic timing.
Yes.
Like, I feel like she's undervalued in the comedy world because she's such a good actress.
Not beautiful human being, but not conventional Hollywood beauty, though, right? Or am I wrong on that point?
The drive from Pima County to San Diego, about 6 hours? So, yeah, I'm body in the trunk. I'm going to San Diego. I'm dumping her in the Pacific Ocean. There's no...
You can't just stop. Franz Borgardt is not telling the world how to get rid of a body. I would not do that. You can't just dump a body in the ocean, though. You gotta make it smaller. You gotta chop it up.
Well, yeah.
You gotta make it to where.
No,
that goes without saying, right?
No,
like we're not just throwing the body into what. I don't understand this facial expression.
Because it floats.
You rent a boat.
I'm following you, Franz.
You get some chains and some cinder blocks. You don't have to chop it up. The ocean life will do that for you.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, Brian has a point.
Right.
Shark Week.
Mm-hmm.
No, this is gonna be a brutal fucking story.
If I was going to be a shark, I'd be a hammerhead.
Why?
Not the shovel one. I don't want to be the shovel one. I want to be
You don't wanna be this
I want to be the hammerhead. I don't want to be a
So
shark.
you want to be a catfish, then? So you can like.
No. Blowfish.
I'd be a bull shark.
Yeah, you would.
Well, bull sharks can survive in freshwater too.
Not a lipstick one.
That's
you want to pull
it'd be nice to be a shark and still be able to go to Memphis.
mega
That's-
megalodon.
well, those things. I don't think they're extinct. I think they're just deep.
I feel like a great white is kind of racist.
Not at all.
No, you didn't even break there. You were just like great white shark. Not that's racist a little bit. No, never. It is a sad story though, and the more they do and I made reference to it, the humanizing videos like from the movie Silence of the Lambs, like they did yesterday, the more it's like, oh.
Did you hear that they actually quoted Silence of the Lambs in the first one?
They did.
What?
Yeah. She's a kind-hearted person and a smart person. Just talk to her. You'll get to know her. It's like a direct quote from the movie. I'm misquoting it, but
right.
The way it's
they lined them up. It puts the lotion on its hands.
.636 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. We got attorney Franz Borgardt in the house for Legally Served. Yeah, we normally do this on a Wednesday, but we'll be on location tomorrow, so we pivoted over to today. Let's get into it, Franz. And I want to start with this. Let's walk down the path of she went missing of her own accord.
Ransom.
No. She went missing of her own accord. No ransom, no actual kidnapper. The ransom notes are fake. Okay. Let's walk down that as a potential path.
It's
how serious of a penalty is that?
So if she went missing on her own accord, like let's say she had some mental defect and she's just gone, well, there's no penalty, right? But if she's went missing and someone realized, hey, this is what's her name's daughter, a mother, and I'm sorry I had a brain fart there, then honestly the penalty is no different than if a family member kidnapped her. Now you start getting into obstruction of justice, you start getting into other additional charges, but the principal charge of the kidnapping and possible murder, and I say possible murder because can we just all agree that she might not be alive right now?
I might be asking the question wrong. Let me try this again.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's say she went for a walk and never came home again. There is no kidnapper.
Right.
She just walked off into the woods and died.
Right.
On her own.
Right.
If I am sitting there like 3 blocks away, I send them a ransom note. Is that a crime? I haven't kidnapped her, but I send a ransom note.
Well, yeah, there's a theft or whatever that state law is or federal law where it's basically a fraud,
right?
An inducement based on fraud. You didn't have anything to do with the murder, but
you started to say the word extortion and then stopped.
It may not be extortion.
Okay.
It may not be extortion. And I stopped because it's really like I walk upon the body, I see the body, and I'm like, oh, she's a celebrity's mama.
Right.
I'm gonna make a nickel off this.
Right.
Or some Bitcoin. I think it's all financial crimes at that point. Although you're putting yourself as from a criminal justice standpoint, you're putting yourself in a precarious situation because you're also like, who's the first suspect going to be? You.
Right.
So now it should be easy to determine at that point, like natural versus unnatural causes of death.
Mm-hmm.
The FBI's kind of alluded to the fact that they don't think the ransom is a real thing. Like the ransom, and again, you have to peel back some layers to this. The FBI has kind of alluded to the fact that the ransom may not be a genuine ransom, which begs the question, was this kind of like an inside job? Was this somebody
hang on. If the ransom isn't a genuine ransom, then I wasn't just making up, like, this is a viable possibility.
Could be. But I suspect it. And when I say inside job, I mean someone that was in her circle.
Right.
Could be a family member. Could just be, it could be anybody, but it's probably someone that was in the circle and not some random person that's like, I mean, out of all the people you're going to kidnap and ransom,
yeah,
does your mind go there first?
No.
I mean, no.
It's so, the randomness of
I don't want Bitcoin. I want cash.
The randomness of
Bitcoin is crypto is, but still, how much did they want? How many millions did they want?
Did we hear 4 or 6? Something to that effect. But the randomness of who the person is this is not like someone was taking, Elon Musk's kid. It's a different scenario. You're not going after like the richest person in the world here. So, okay, if there was no kidnapping, but we just have a random person trying to, extort, and I'm going to use the word extort, even though it's not necessarily, but a random person trying to draw money out of them over to Bitcoin or whatever. If that's the case, then we do have a number of crimes that could probably stack up and get pretty serious pretty fast.
Correct.
Okay.
So the kidnapping, ransom, possible murder is from a criminal justice standpoint, that gets you in the most hot water.
Yeah.
The low-hanging crime of opportunity of, hey, I found this woman. She's dead.
Yeah.
And again, there's layers. It could be, I found her and I'm holding her against her will. I didn't kidnap her, but I'm holding her against her will, which is kind of like kidnapping, but not quite. And I'm moving her. There is, if she's dead and you dispose the body, there's crimes on that level as well. The big crime though is what? Murder or kidnapping murder.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about kidnapping without. Well, here's where I want to go with this: is if she was kidnapped completely with the intent of sending ransom and getting her back. However, heart problems, doesn't have the pacemaker. She's kidnapped. She just happens to die on their watch. What does that look like criminally?
They're going to get. Once you kidnap somebody and there's a death, you start getting into what's called the felony murder doctrine.
Yeah.
So even if you didn't have the intent to kill her, you were committing a felony and there was a death during the felony, then that's probably going to be a murder. And again, you've got to have, we're in a vacuum talking about this. It's very factually specific because an unrelated heart attack may on its face not appear to be the fault of the kidnappers, but what caused the heart attack?
Right.
Additional stress, malnourishment, different life. It's a weird winding road at that point.
Well, additional stress, malnourishment. Let's say she's put in a comfy little room and she's fed 3 times a day. They just didn't bring her meds along with her.
Well, meds in this case, that's a thing.
Right.
We're not talking about, hey, I haven't taken my Ozempic this week. Right. This is why are you shaking your head? What's wrong with Ozempic? Why are you hating on Ozempic?
Are you? I didn't.
I'm a Monjaro guy, but for the record, I lost a bulk of my weight the old-fashioned way, my way, working with Dr. G. And then I'm on the Monjaro maintenance. But she is on medicines that she has to be on,
right?
For existence. I don't know why we went down the Ozempic, because you made a face when I said Ozempic.
Well, there's no.
Don't be fat shaming Ozempic, peeps.
I'm not fat shaming anybody. It's just there's no comparison here between heart medication and fat medication.
Depends on how fat you are.
It doesn't apply to what she's on.
I mean, some people get winded walking upstairs. I'm just saying.
Here's the thing, dude. I can go to the gym for an hour and be fine. I do 2 flights of stairs, I'm done.
If she were diabetic,
if
she were diabetic and she needed insulin,
right,
and you're not giving her insulin, and you're the reason she's not getting insulin, we're start talking about the murder category if she dies.
Okay. So they don't necessarily kill her, but if they're not providing what she needs to sustain life, it's still the same.
I feel like though, like if you really kidnapped her and you're really ransoming her and you find out all of a sudden she needs this medicine, you're giving me $6 million. And by the way, we need medicine.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you have gotten the medicine
on the front end?
Yeah. Don't you? I mean, if you if it was so calculated.
But here's where you're going, Franz. And we only got 2 minutes till break. We got 1 minute till break. Here's where you're going, Franz, is if you got the medicine ahead of time, it's an inside job.
Right.
If you got the medicine ahead of time, you knew what condition she had.
Getting the medicine is what gets you caught. That is searching medicines on Google or going to the Walgreens, to get a medicine that you don't.
But you have to know whose Google to search.
Right.
And like how common is this heart medication?
You better believe that the FBI looked in that region geographically.
Sure.
They're looking for anybody that made a prescriptive
within the last however many months
before, during, and after.
That's a big pool, man. That's a big pool.
FBI don't play.
We're coming up. It's 6:46 at Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. Got to remind you about the Baton Rouge Metro Airport. FlyBTR.com is the website. FlyBTR.com. Got to tell you, flying home from Washington, D.C. after Washington Mardi Gras, landing at the Baton Rouge Metro Airport, so much more convenient, y'all. When you get off the plane and the walk is that short to the baggage claim, when you get off the plane and the walk is that short to your wife waiting for you right out the front, when you get off the plane and you don't have to worry about driving a whole other hour to get home. I mean, the level of convenience at the end of a long journey just puts the button on the overall experience.
It's like a first-class experience.
It is like, yes, Franz, sorry, his mic was off. He said it's like a first-class experience. It actually is. The difference between flying out of the super huge, massive humanity that is the TSA line versus the experience that is TSA here, the parking down there versus the parking over here. When you stack all those things together, you can't do better than flybtr.com.
Wolf complains about waiting for bags.
At New Orleans, it's the worst. Oh, no, look, I will take the Pepsi challenge with that shit any day of the week.
It has to be quicker at Baton Rouge.
1,000 times. Just geographically, like to get from the plane to the baggage claim on the other side of the wall is as quick as getting from the plane to the baggage claim on this side of the wall. And if you go to New Orleans, they don't give a shit.
In March, I'm flying from New Orleans to Newark to Tel Aviv.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot tell you how unexcited I am about that first leg because I have to get to New Orleans and all that. I parked in Baton Rouge's airport parking lot the other day. They have the digital app now. Everything's digital on the app.
I need to start talking about that. I don't talk about that enough.
It is, dude. That was wonderful because when I got home, I was able to just get in my car and leave.
Yeah.
There was no. I got there 2 hours, I got there an hour and a half early, which was entirely earlier than I needed to. But I'm old school. I like to get there and situated. It took me less than 10 minutes to get checked in, security, all that. It was delightful.
Yeah.
Delightful.
Then you sit down and have a PJ's coffee?
Yeah, have a PJ's coffee, have some popcorn, whatever you want to do.
He flew out to Asheville out of BTR because for him, he gets to come see his grandbabies. He'll park at my house, BTR. He's like, his flight was at 6:15, like last Wednesday. He goes, you got to drop me off at 4 in the morning. I said, no, I'm not. I said, I'm going to drop you off at 5:15. You're going to be good. But my flight leaves at 6:15. I'm like,
this isn't Home Alone 2.
He's thinking like New Orleans with a long TSA line.
Yeah, which I never did post that pic. I took a picture of the entire TSA line at MSY.
BTR and say, you don't have that there.
Right.
He didn't know we had a PJ's.
PJ's is good. PJ's.
Oh, and the Wild Wings right next to it.
Yeah. Oh, and the breakfast is so good. You ever had like a chicken biscuit?
From PJ's?
Yeah, like
That entire little setup is good. That's a good setup.
Yeah.
The little
Yeah.
wild wings, yeah.
Isn't there like a Baton Rouge gallery? Like there's an art installation there too.
Oh yeah, the level.
Yeah.
I couldn't give a shit about that.
Well, I'm just.
My huge ass giraffe, that clear channel just give me fits about. It's coming down this year.
Wolf also short walk, longer wait for. It's not a longer wait for bags. I defy. No. By the way, Wolf also said the kickoff for the Super Bowl was 2 hours earlier on the left coast. No, kickoff was at the exact same time. But
Our friend Wolf is getting like a curmudgeon.
Is he?
With every pass.
I don't know what you mean by getting. How about your money now? Brie Lynn? Your money now.
Oh,
God.
no, it's there. No, it's not.
No, it's not.
For you. My God. I'm so used to hitting your money now first. That's why.
Why are you so? Oh, because when he's got to leave, yeah. I understand that, but the switch was never flipped either. Chandler Willis says hello. Whoop.
Shout out to Chandler.
Who took about a week to dig himself out of the snow in North Carolina. Why was your dad going to Asheville?
My granny died, remember?
Oh, yeah.
So my dad has to go up there and he has to do he has one brother left that's still alive at Fort Myers, but his wife is blind and not doing well. So my dad's like, I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
And not that he's in it because degenerative disc disease, we talked about that. He can't really walk.
Yeah.
But
if you can't really walk, you don't want to go to MSY at all. Because that's
when
just.
he got off the plane in Nashville, they had some snow. I said, be careful. If you slept,
Yeah. That's it.
I know. So he's cleaning out the trailer. He's selling her clothes, all the fun stuff.
Do you want to stick with the Guthrie case, or do you want to move over to the prison sentence thing?
Sure.
That was an either or.
I know.
Okay. Boop, 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 boop. 652 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP Mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along, continuing with Legally Served with attorney Franz Borgardt. Couple more scenarios we want to bounce through, talking about the Nancy Guthrie case. But before we do, Franz, I just wanted your gut opinion on this. Are they ever going to find this woman?
I don't think they're going to find her alive.
I don't think they're going to find her.
No, I think they're going to find her. There's forensic evidence that somebody. Listen, the number one reason people get caught is they make mistakes.
Sure,
that is the number one reason they get caught. And okay, so let's say she's alive in a dungeon basement somewhere. At some point, someone's going to see or hear something, and then that will be the tip. And or remember, our geofencing capabilities are different too. We now can look at, it's kind of like the Dark Knight with the whole cell phones, and you've turned every cell phone into a receiver. The government can do things forensically that we just can't even imagine. So I think that they will find her. In what condition we find her will be I just don't see at this point her still being alive.
Same. As in she's dead right now.
Probably so.
I hate walking down this because these people are going through this. This is real. We're real timing this stuff.
Well, and what point from the other side of it, what point do you give up hope?
You don't.
You can't.
You
right?
don't. No. Not until you have closure or confirmation. That's that. God, I feel so bad for these people.
Yeah.
All right. A couple more scenarios here. If it was someone that they know who kidnapped her, if it was, say, a family member or something, do charges change based off of proximity to the victim?
No, I wouldn't say they do, other than So inside job doesn't necessarily in and of itself make the crime more severe. I think what that will do is the again, if you see me like my hamster wheel spinning, it's a vacuum of well, what if this, that, and no is the answer to your question. It doesn't necessarily change the severity of the crime, because at the end of the day, the most severe crime is the kidnapping and possible murder.
Right.
And whether that's an insider, an outsider, or whomever, that is going to still be the most severe crime. The obstruction of justice, the additional fraud of being in the circle, that's not going to be, I mean, that's like murder plus theft.
Right.
It's not, what do? You do a life sentence and then consecutive to the that said, this has the nation's attention. So
right.
People are watching, right?
Okay. Well, that's actually on my checklist to get through as well. This has the nation's attention. People are watching. You have a million different amateur detectives on the case. Every true crime podcaster out there is going to, they're going to solve it for you.
Well, they do. And to be fair, amateur true crime folks have been known to occasionally solve generally cold cases, but they have been known to dare I say, help the situation out. They can hurt the situation, but they can also help the situation.
Do you know who Sunil Tripathi is?
Not off the top of my head.
Sunil Tripathi was the person who was falsely accused of the Boston Marathon bomb.
Okay.
Killed himself
by
the amateurs that tracked him down and were swearing up and down that it was him.
Right.
Yeah. That's why I don't like the amateur detectives.
So that's not an amateur detective thing. That's a people suck thing.
No, but those are the same thing.
Right.
Because if Reddit says somebody is guilty of something,
are you suggesting that the best of intentions can lead to horrible
I don't
stuff
even think there's good intentions. I think the intention is attention. I think the intention is to be able to say, I'm the one that did it. Everybody praise me. I'm the one that solved it. To be able to be the first in line is not unlike when you have a coaching search going on and everybody wants to have the inside information. When you have any kind of mystery going on, somebody wants to have all the information.
So here's the thing. You have people who get engrossed in these cases. It's better than reality TV. It is reality, right? They get engrossed in these cases and they will spend every waking moment shy of their job.
Yes.
Researching, analyzing these cases. Now, the problem is everything they have is secondhand.
Mm-hmm.
For the most part, everything they have is secondhand. They're not at the crime scene. They're not doing the forensic analysis. So, for example,
but they've got the Always Sunny in Philadelphia pin board up with all this yarn going back and forth.
In our thread, someone said, Galen, shout out to Galen, they found a small amount of blood on the porch, proven to be hers.
Mm-hmm.
That may, in fact, be accurate. But you and I don't have that firsthand. Right. Galen does not have that firsthand. And yes, you want to believe that the reporting is going to be accurate. You want to believe that the media is going to report accuracy. That's what you want to believe.
Yeah.
But nobody's sitting there with a DNA analysis.
Right.
So that is the bigger problem for me. And then when they start trying to interview witnesses, like, whoa, what are you doing, dog? Let law enforcement do that. Like, if you want to have the victim on your podcast and interview them, I'm okay with that.
Got 1 minute left with attorney Franz Borgardt, legally served, doing this on a Tuesday instead of a Wednesday. In that last minute, Franz, I want to walk through the Pollyanna scenario. Okay. Let's say later today, a van pulls up outside of their house, slowly lowers down a wheelchair with her in it, and drives off again.
Bad.
Yeah. Okay, she was getting bad. She needs her meds. We're out. There's way too much heat.
This lady is a lot.
Okay, now, if that scenario plays out, is it up to the family or the cops to chase down whoever was in that van to like
cops?
Okay.
Well, I mean,
the family can't say we're just so glad to have her back. We don't care.
Well, they could say that, but I mean, they don't get to make the decision on.
That's why I'm asking.
Yeah. No, it's a crime still. It would still be, assuming it was a kidnapping.
Mm-hmm.
Assuming,
We found her like this.
well, so there is a scenario where someone who's infirmed
Yeah.
gets found, and you're not kidnapping them, but they're infirmed mentally, and
But you hang on to her for a week.
I mean, maybe she's a lot of fun. I don't know. I'm just saying. I'm gonna get in so much trouble for that.
Yeah,
one.
you are. We're out of here. He's attorney Franz Borgardt. We get top of the hour news coming up. Always appreciate the time, brother. Thank you so much. Here comes ABC News Hour 2 is next. Because the next line out of your mouth was, maybe she's a lot of fun. Maybe that's why she needed the heart meds.
Stop. All right, I'm gonna go to church now.
Yes, you better.
I'll see you guys
later, brother. Thank you. Sweating my ass off over here.
I know. I don't know why it's so damn hot.
Because the heater's still on as if it were last week.
So some man really killed himself over the amateur
Sunil Tripathi died March 16th, 2013. He was an American student who went missing on that same day. His disappearance received widespread media attention after he was wrongfully accused by Reddit users to being the suspect in the Boston Marathon bombing. Everyone wanted him dead, so he helped them out. His body was found a month and a half later.
Oh my God. That's terrible.
His body was found. He went missing on March 16th. The marathon was on April 15th. No, that's not right. Yeah, he was already missing for a month but because he was missing, because he had disappeared, Reddit said he went underground, and this is more than a decade ago, so it's tough to remember. But yeah, so I just remember the name Sunil Tripathi. Is the internet sleuths got it wrong, and he died as a result. Yeah.
Oh, Byron. This story made me realize that if I was held to be held for ransom, my family would probably send a thank you note instead of money.
Is this the Olympic thing we're supposed to run?
Why is it? Is it at?
It might have. The spot might be on the front end. We'll see. Yeah. You did what you were supposed to. It just wasn't there. It wasn't in there. It was nothing but a. Do we have to hit it at 02? Does it come out of a pod or is it in the?
It comes out of a pod. Let me go back to Casey. And it
We
is
missed
out
it
there.
then. We missed it because the report is from 02 to 03. And then the spot was from 03 to 04.
We missed the, but we played the ad. Okay. We played the ad that's attached to it.
Yeah, but we didn't get the report. So
When did you send that email? As far as when? It was Saturday, I think?
it may have been Friday. I'm not sure.
Oh, there it is. It's attached to the live promo copy.
Hmm.
It will be scheduled to run at 7:02. So we were way late.
Yeah.
How do we fix that?
Oh, I don't have that in my promo copy. At 7:02, you turn off ABC News and turn on that one. What time does the news end? Does the news end?
7:01.
No.
No, 7:02. 7:02, and then the Olympic update.
.705 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. Hour 2 coming your way right now. This hour we've got Lori Melancon from the Greater Baton Rouge Economic Partnership. We've got Baton Rouge Police Chief TJ Morse. Busy hour this hour. So let's dive right in. Top stories and trending. Let's go. A portion of Bluebonnet Boulevard will have partial road closures over the next month. City of St. George said yesterday. Gale Drive to Jefferson Highway is where you're going to see the closures. Bluebonnet will be under construction from February 12th through March 12th. The 5 suspects tied to a Mardi Gras parade shooting up in Clinton that injured 5 people, including a child, are being held each on $1.8 million bond. 21-year-old Cameron Barfield, 19-year-old Noah Baskin, 16-year-old Malik Liggins, 25-year-old Philip Williams, and 18-year-old DeTraylon White were all arrested within the last 2 weeks on various charges for their roles in the shooting. Less than 2 weeks after announcing his intentions to run for the seat representing Louisiana's 5th congressional district, State Representative Dixon McMakin said that he's no longer running for Congress. McMakin said he will refocus his efforts locally to support infrastructure repairs, advance flood control projects along the Amite and Comite rivers, and implement tougher measures to combat crime. A man was shot to death in a Perkins Road parking garage Monday evening. The shooting happened around 9:15 p.m. in the garage behind the Cinemark movie theater. The man was pronounced dead at the scene, and that is all of the information that we have on this particular story. Takes us down to New Orleans, where an unattended AR-15 was found in the bathroom of a French Quarter hotel on Sunday, left behind by a Louisiana National Guardsman. Happened at the Lafitte Hotel on Bourbon Street. It was the weapon picture of it was posted to social media. Lieutenant Colonel Noel Collins with the National Guard said, "This matter will be handled internally."
All right, get ready for congressional theatrics. The House of Homeland Security Committee will be questioning and hearing testimony from numerous higher-ups at ICE today.
I can't wait. Interim director is going to be in that mix. A couple of others are going to be in that mix in the Homeland Security Department. I'm sure no one is going to take the opportunity to bloviate and create sound bites. No one is going to be pulling video for their own social media to grandstand. I'm sure this is going to be smooth.
Right? Right.
1,000%.
Popcorn.
1,000%. Yeah.
Popcorn. 9 medal events take place at the Olympics today. And yes, men's 20-kilometer biathlon is among them.
I'm telling you, it's the best sport ever invented.
Gosh.
So if you just ski for a little while, then you shoot a gun. That's
Really?
it. That's it. You just
That's
ski,
it?
you stop, you shoot a gun.
Really?
Tell you, you want to see talent? Don't stop. Let me find the guy who can hit the target while he's still moving. That's the guy I want shooting.
Man.
No, so the whole point is like when you ski the 20 kilometers, or no, when you ski, I don't know how far they're skiing, but it says 20 kilometers, but I don't know like how far that is.
Right. I don't either.
When you ski, your heart rate, when you're physically, think about like you're running down. Think if you got on Government Street and just ran to the river and tried to shoot immediately, your heart would be pumping, your adrenaline's pumping.
Oh, yeah.
You're not going to be able to keep a straight shot. That's the whole point of that, is the heart discipline. Is the
and
pacing.
the mental clarity,
Yes,
too.
both of those things.
Man, it's okay. According to a leading payroll company, roughly 13 million Americans actually scheduled the day off yesterday. No count on just how many called in sick after the Super Bowl.
Lightweights. All of them lightweights. No, we all know.
Mhm.
We all know the day after the Super Bowl is going to be slow at work. You know, good on 13 million people for saying, I'm going to blow it out on a Sunday night.
I know.
But I would really like to see the possibility of the day after the Super Bowl becoming not a full-on holiday. We don't need the whole day. We just need a couple of extra hours to sleep it off.
But federally, you ask everybody to come in at noon.
Right.
You know, so I would almost say the postal carriers, the mail lady, she's going to be dropping my mail off at 7:00 that night, you know?
Now, I understand that. But like, there is room for some sort of middle ground here. So,
yep.
All right. 7-Eleven Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP. Need just a quick moment to remind you about the folks over at 180 Pros. 180pros.com is their website. Not your IT provider, your IT partner. Now, what does it mean to have an IT partner as opposed to a provider? Well, an IT provider is someone that you just contract with, and they'll bill you monthly. And if your stuff goes down, they'll give it a look. 180 Pros, you've got someone on call basically at all times. You're going to get same-day response time. You're going to get simplified billing. You are going to have someone who bases their success off of your success. Yes, I can tell you all day long about their technical capabilities. I can tell you all day long about their certifications. I can tell you all day long about what they provide in terms of cybersecurity. But what it comes down to it is if you call 225-330-2200, you're going to get someone in Baton Rouge who's here for you. 180pros.com. I am fantastic. How are you?
Pretty good.
How was Washington?
Sucks.
What?
I hate that event.
Really?
Come on.
Really?
You don't find it personally disgusting how much money we spend up there with the poorest state in the country, and here we are doing all this disgusting BS. And you
makes it fun for both you and me. I have executive committee at 8 a.m., so let's be careful.
Okay. Positives of Washington. All right. 7:15, Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP, mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. Time to welcome back to the show, as we do, Lori Melancon with the Greater Baton Rouge Economic Partnership. We just call it the partnership. Lori, welcome back. How are you?
Good morning.
Right on there.
Good to see you.
Likewise. So, saw you very briefly up in Washington.
Yep.
I don't want to talk about the event as a whole. I want to talk about the partnerships get together.
Yeah.
Y'all host a little get together that I can never go to because I'm on the air at the same dead gun time.
Well, maybe we should do a live spot next time.
Yes, that has to happen.
Our party's a lot of fun.
That's what I understand.
It was really great. One of the things I'm most excited about what we did in Washington Mardi Gras this year is we debuted something that we've been working on for a little while. It's a partnership with Industry Makes and the Louisiana Chemical Association. And it's an exhibition of products that are made possible because of the work that the people in the capital region do each and every day. So, for example, did you know, one that a lot of people know is there are no crayons or 7.5 million crayons a day because of ExxonMobil.
Yes.
But everything from AstroTurf to jet fuel to paraffin wax for candles. We had a display of all sorts of products, and it's the hardworking people in the capital region that make these products possible, not only for us, but for folks around the world.
Love this. So I have a partnership with Industry Makes right here on the show as well. Love speaking on their behalf because their mission is what honestly puts the shoes on our feet, puts the tires on our car, the roads under our tires.
That's right. There is nothing that you will eat, touch, wear today, most likely, that didn't start in some small way in the Baton Rouge area, somewhere in our 9-parish capital region. Wrap your brain around that. The car you guys are driving in right now is made possible in lots of different ways by the folks here in the Baton Rouge area. And we have no swagger about it as Baton Rougeans.
Right. And not only that, but we have a number of people who attack those who make it. And I understand everybody wants to be clean. Everybody wants to do things the right way. And we're
working on it.
We work our darndest to get there for sure. But let's not vilify the people who, my neighbor's mortgage is paid.
Well, and let's face the facts. Your grocery store aisles would be very bare without the capital region. Imagine for a hot second going to the doctor's office without the products produced, the adhesives, the plastics, the different products that are made possible because of the capital region. You wouldn't want to go to a hospital anywhere in the world without the Baton Rouge area alive and kicking. And so it's really, really important that we have some pride about what we do here in Baton Rouge.
We got Lori Melancon in for the partnership. So great to hear about the Industry Makes and LCA. I'm just huge proponents of them and what they do. While we're kind of recapping, were you? I assume you were out there last Friday for the groundbreaking at River
I was
Parish?
able to stop by for a little while. I got to meet Mr. Lee, the new president of Hyundai Steel, for a few minutes. I had a conflict later in the afternoon, so I didn't get to stay for the full groundbreaking, but really delighted about that progress. It's the next step in the overall project. As you know, we have several families that have moved here with executives from Hyundai Steel to the Baton Rouge area who have already started to make Baton Rouge their home. And that project is humming right along, and couldn't be more delighted for our partners at River Parishes Community College. Chancellor Quinton is just an incredible leader, and that team is just so stellar. BRCC is pretty awesome too, but we have 2 gems in the capital region. You can't forget about RPCC, and just so excited about what's going to happen now on the west side of the river with their new training center.
Absolutely. And I'm glad you brought up BRCC along with it, because they've been doing amazing things and just for some time now.
It's the bedrock of our community and the foundation of so many great careers that get started in those halls. And so BRCC and RPCC are just tremendous assets for us here in the Baton Rouge area.
What I'm liking about RPCC right now is the fact that Chancellor Taylor is like the right man in the right place, he is embracing this role so well of, we're about to show off, and you're going to bring it on because you're going to be impressed.
What I like about both him and Chancellor Smith at BRCC is there's never a no. It's always, let's figure it out. They're a great partner to industry. They're always willing to try whatever makes sense for their students and for the community as a whole. It's just, we're really lucky to have them as partners and their institutions as well.
Yep, both right place, right time, right people, to be sure. So the groundbreaking up there is one part of what's been going on. Tell me what else has been going on lately.
We're just gearing up. I mean, we have a big Q1 from an events perspective at the partnership. Of course, Washington Mardi Gras is the kickoff for folks. But right around the corner, I mean, we're all in love this week. We're going to have a little celebrate our love with Spanish Town this weekend. But right after that is 225 Day. And so we're really excited about celebrating our community on February 25th, 225 Day. It's been a long celebrated day in Baton Rouge in some circles. And we're just happy to have a platform to make it even bigger and bolder. So we're inviting companies and communities around the region to celebrate their part of BTR of the 225 inside their workplace, inside their neighborhood, inside their school, and really excited about having that later on this month.
What goes on with that? How do we celebrate 225
All
Day?
kinds of people do it in lots of different ways. Last year, Mike the Tiger ate some 225 BTR meat art, which I love. Mike and I go way back. One of my favorite things that happened last year was every baby born at Women's Hospital got a special beanie that said better in BTR. Birthdays are better in BTR,
awesome.
Which is true. We had Keen Miller had a wonderful celebration at their law firm, celebrating lots of local restaurants and retailers. Really, really fun way to celebrate the unique hometown businesses in our community. So companies and organizations all over Baton Rouge celebrate in their own way. I heard that we have folks dressing up this year.
Oh,
yeah, I'm excited about that. We have some fun giveaways happening, some fun social media activations. So lots of ideas have been rolling into our office so that we can monitor and celebrate with you guys in a few weeks.
well, and this is kind of spun off to where we have a 225 Fest now as well.
225. Myra has been throwing this 225 Fest for a while, which is very, very popular. That'll happen on the Saturday after February 25th. So I believe that's the 28th. And she does a great job with that. And we love being friends of Myra's. And on our side, we'll have an event on February 25th itself on Wednesday after work. A celebration over at Electric Depot. So for folks that are interested in celebrating with us at the partnership, we'd love to have you. And you can just register on our website.
Register over on the website. Electric Depot. I love Electric Depot, by the way.
Oh my gosh. Well,
it's like 2 blocks from here. So, it's
last year, 225 Day was a little bit of our, kind of showing this new wave of who we are as an organization. It was a lot of fun. And I had a lot of board members and business leaders kind of look around and said, this is what we're doing now. This is different. This isn't your grandfather's chamber. We're excited about it. And we're excited because this year there gets to be 5 stories of that. So we're going to have a lot of fun over there at Electric Depot.
Are we a full year into the relaunch, or were we just kind of leaning this way then?
We were still calling ourselves the chamber, but I was on the scene. So we were doing things a little bit spicier, if you will. Sassier and spicier.
Lori Melancon from the partnership is with us. Let's talk about that for a minute. How's it going? Like the transition over towards, more on that eye on the future.
It's going great. We are finishing up our 5-year strategic plan. The Bring It strategic plan started in 2021. This is our final year of that work. And we feel like we're in a really great place to finish that strong. We have a strong legislative package coming together for this year. Our project pipeline from a business development perspective, we talked about Hyundai. Last year was the biggest year in 20 years for capital investment and job creation announcements in the capital region. Wow. The biggest year in 20 years. This year's pipeline, if even just the projects that are in the finalizing stage were to go forward, which there's no guarantee, it would equal last year. So we really are in a place that is unprecedented for us as a region. Really very excited about it. But that means that in order for us to get ready for that unprecedented announcement, those possibilities, there's a lot of work for us to do as a community to get ready for those things, like preparing our infrastructure, preparing our systems to really shine at the same level.
What's going on behind the scenes? So this is the tough spot with economic development, is like, we're not going to know until we know, right?
That's right.
But at the same time, though, a lot of prep's got to be done on the back end to make sure the workforce is ready, to make sure the populace is ready, to make sure the infrastructure is ready.
That's right.
Walk me through a little bit about where we are. We're in first quarter of 2026 for what's to come in 2026.
You know, we did a lot of really great work in 2025. We certified a new site. That kind of work is important. If you think about Hyundai's a really great example.
Mhm.
That River Park Megaplex, where that project is, Riverplex Megapark. Get the two P's confused. Riverplex Megapark. That we certified that site in 2015. That project, Hyundai Steel, was 10 years in the making. It
Right.
takes that kind of preparation, to your point,
Right.
to get ready for these opportunities. You got to be ready to catch the opportunities when they land.
Mhm.
So we're doing more work on that front, working with our parish partners to identify property. We're looking at state and federally and locally owned public property that could potentially be used and put back into commerce. How could we take certain pieces of property and maybe put pieces together to make interesting infrastructure solutions or sites for investment, redevelopment in some of our more populated communities in Baton Rouge, for example, and the city. We're looking at opportunities for redevelopment with our partners based on that publicly owned property inventory. So on that front, there's a lot of work, but on workforce, we talk to the chief academic officers of all of the higher education institutions in the region on a relatively regular basis about what we're seeing, what's coming, what has a possibility to hit. We're in regular conversation with them about what that could look like from a education perspective and a talent pipeline perspective.
Lori Melancon from the partnership is with us for a couple more minutes. Are we allowed to talk about what site you said we got a site certified last year?
Yeah, in Ascension Parish. I forget the name of it, but it has a name. And if Jason were here, next time we talk to Jason, we'll tell you the name of it. I forgot the name of it. Losing my memory with all the things going on. But yes, late last year that came through. The other thing that, we talked about Washington Mardi Gras. Let's talk about one of the most exciting things that happened at Washington Mardi Gras. And I'm pretty sure you covered it.
Oh, thoroughly.
And that's the two announcements that LSU made.
Yes.
Those.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So cool.
No,
right?
I thought you were going in a different direction. I thought you were going with Governor Landry's proclamation.
That's cool too. That's interesting too.
But no, run with this because
yes.
I don't think anybody's paying nearly enough attention to this.
You got that right.
Yeah.
Yeah. LSU is doing some incredible work that makes so much sense to us from I have goosebumps really while we're talking about it from an economic development perspective. The moves that the university are making around investments and partnerships with these national labs, with the Army.
The Army.
We had a 4-star general in the Washington Hilton. And he was proud as a peacock to talk about what the work that they're going to do with LSU. We're not ready. It's not fully ready for prime time, but we are going to go and recruit companies on the backs of those announcements.
Mm-hmm.
We are going to look at how we can leverage those relationships with these national labs to invest in innovation here in Baton Rouge. These are conversations that we've been having for 12, 18 months, and they're even more exciting today because those announcements are real and we are putting them into effect right now.
Now, it feels very strategic and very intentional is a word I want to use. It feels very intentional to be coupling like cybersecurity and energy at the same time.
It's almost obvious.
Right.
Yes, 100%. That is how we're going to diversify our economy. We've tried and we've been successful. IBM is more successful today than they've ever been in the Capital Region. Had a great visit with them. Their center here in Baton Rouge is one of their strongest in their network. And so that's been a really great asset, but it didn't grow into the tech sector that we really envisioned. What we're really hoping is that as we have these new developments in the energy sector, as new tech is coming online, we can take the strengths that we have and layer on new technologies to the existing ones.
Right.
So cyber for energy, cyber for critical infrastructure. We have a reason to win. That we really can win in those industries. So we like to call it a right to win. So we're really leaning in hard, partnering with our universities. Southern is playing in some of these efforts as well. Talking to BRCC, talking to our high schools about what does that pipeline look like? How can talent at every stage of the game participate in these new industry sectors? So that's the work that we're doing behind the scenes. It might not pay fruit. We might not talk about it as a win for a few years, but this is really intentional work that we're doing each and every day right now. And it's exciting.
Yeah, it's groundwork, it's partnerships, it's relationships on a level that I don't think, I'm glad you brought that up because it's just, we're not going to see immediate ROI in terms of jobs today, but it's jobs tomorrow and the day after tomorrow.
Yeah, and there are things that are happening on our higher education campuses that we just don't know about. One of the nation's leading defense contractors does work on LSU's campus,
right,
and credits LSU for their innovation and growth. This is our talent, everybody. These are our students. These are our kids who are doing this work. We have incredible innovators living and breathing and working really hard in our community. And it's time to leverage that and keep them here. But that's going to take us all leaning in to really work hard to improve our product. That looks like investing in our downtown. That looks like investing in our parks and doing things a little bit differently. That includes solving our transportation infrastructure challenges. And that's not just one new bridge. That's a lot of different projects coming all together. That looks like championing our public school systems. That looks like providing the wraparound services to families to help get them out of poverty so that we can address some of our critical public safety issues. That includes addressing blight throughout the city. So now is the time to lean in because the future is really bright.
All right. We were supposed to get to a little legislative agenda today, but we ran out of time. So when we get you back in, it'll be at the very beginning of the session. We can break that down then. She's Lori Melancon from the partnership. Always appreciate you stopping by.
Absolutely.
Here's news. The watch party for the women's game. Thursday night?
Yeah.
Greg and I talked for maybe half an hour. And a lot of it's. You're on. No. It's, we needed that off for a second.
All right, my friends.
Well, one last time. You don't have to the guy's ears. I think the one last time in Parish, right?
Yeah.
Perkins Row in the city.
Inside the city.
Yeah. I texted Elgene about the Mardi Gras update. She had mentioned about drones.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think it was Sandra either emailed me or texted me. Did you get her list?
Yeah, they sent me something like last night.
Whatever you want to talk about, it's about me.
I've had a lot of people hit me up about, is it
I don't know what
Ivers?
Yeah, that's something that's been going on. I don't know. Yeah, they
Well,
said something about a change in the way we report stuff federally.
Right. Is that okay? So that's been going on.
Mm-hmm.
Can you walk everyone like through it?
Yeah.
I don't know. I just
Yeah. So you have LIBORs and NIBORs. So you have like the Louisiana one and national one.
Okay.
Incident-based reporting system.
And could not have been better. It was it could have been about 15 degrees warmer.
I heard it was
but
freezing.
So cold. Overnight low, my last night there was 9.
Yeah.
And I will tell you, I was at a party where I didn't feel it at all. So
Good time.
yeah, well, so I worked my ass off for about 48 hours. And then Friday night at a bar called the Crown and Crow. They have a party, and I just need to pray that nobody has cameras.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm sure quite a few people hope they didn't have cameras.
Oh yeah. Is there anything you want to cover today?
We on our Facebook page just recently we did shared from Law Enforcement Criminal Justice Foundation and the union are helping us raise money so we can send more officers to Police Week in May.
Is this tied in with the fundraiser for Caleb Eisworth?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So his name would be being added to the wall, week-long thing of events with him affecting so many officers and being part of the traffic division. We have a lot more officers that would like to go, but due to budget constraints, we can't send as many as we'd like to.
Yeah.
So that's what we're just asking for
public
donations so we can send more people, more officers to go.
Definitely hit that. 736. Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. Baton Rouge Police Chief TJ Morrison with us, going to visit in just a minute. Do need to remind you about the folks at NeuroJust, NEUROJUST, neurojust.com. We had Jordan from NeuroJust in studio on Friday. I love when he comes in because he puts it in terms that like make it so much more understandable. I tell you all the time about TMS therapy, transcranial magnetic stimulation. Okay. If like, let's say you injure your leg, you pop a couple of ibuprofen for the pain. That's one thing. But if the pain persists and doesn't go away, you're going to go see a physical therapist. Now think of that in terms of anxiety and depression. If you're on an antidepressant, that's one thing. But if it persists, you need to go see a, quote, physical therapist for your brain. That's exactly what NeuroJust does. Learn more at neurojust.com. Oh, by the way, insurance picks up the tab. It's non-invasive. It's FDA approved. And they show about an 85% response rate. Neurojust.com. All right, Baton Rouge Police Chief TJ Morse in with us. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning, Brian. Good to be here.
Glad to have you on this morning. We got a lot to talk about today, but we're right in the heart of Mardi Gras season, and we're not done with parades in Baton Rouge just yet. But the last time you were on, you were sharing with us about how some budget constraints have forced y'all to think outside the box, and we're gonna have some drones up there this year. Walk me through how it went for the first weekend.
Yeah, so a bunch of parades, 4, I believe, total over last weekend. Of course, everybody was, a little bit of heightened security after what happened up in Clinton at their parade.
Right.
Everybody kept asking me, what are y'all going to do? What are y'all going to do different? Fortunately for us, we are just so used to major events, everything from LSU football to special events like parades and runs, that we have a good security plan already in place. So we didn't have to do much adjustment. It was more just reminding our officers and the public of just heightened security, see something, say something to our officers, and just, be a better lookout. But we did have drones up in the air monitoring everything from traffic and the flow of people and getting everybody in and out safely, to also just monitoring suspicious activity, where, they came in handy, able to get us, be able to track some people, even make an arrest with somebody that had a gun out there on the parade route.
So, wow. Okay. So that was, and like the fact that was uneventful is eventful.
Yes,
the fact that where there was no news tells you the technology is working. The application of it with the drones, how easily was it? On y'all's end, just the handling, the flying of them, like retrieving the information? Was this as smooth as was expected?
Oh yeah, for sure. So the drone program is something that we've had, and we just have been putting more and more into it. Ultimately, using monies that we used to use for our aviation support unit for the helicopter, now going into the drone unit and just kind of beefing that up. Everything from small drones that the officers carry around in their cars daily. We have about 20 of those where officers just have them. They can, within, just 30 seconds, throw it up in the air, and it has the same night vision technology to be able to track people, everything from lost kids to suspects hiding in bushes, to smaller ones that the SWAT team uses to put inside houses before we send in operators, and then to our, bigger and larger ones that we use for special events.
Wow. That's a lot of applications there.
Yeah, for sure.
That's on the manning and on the other end, though. I mean, somebody's got to fly it, somebody's got to monitor it and the whatnot. Walk me through a little bit about the training that goes into that. Do we lean on other people, or is all this in-house?
Yeah, so it's all in-house. We have over 20 officers that have their FAA license certification. We have a full-time drone support unit now with a commander in there that's very knowledgeable of all the FAA things and goes out and recruits officers to get their FAA certification. An officer goes out there and they'll spend their own money to do the training and get certification. And if they pass their certification, then they can put in and be reimbursed by the department. So that's something that, they get to keep for their resume, but if they pass it, then we'll reimburse them because it's a skill that we can use. So we have over 20 officers that have that FAA certification, and they're the ones that pilot our drones.
Very, very cool stuff. Baton Rouge Police Chief TJ Morse in the house. Bring us a little update on what's going on in BRPD's world. Of course, the drones were a result of, they weren't a result of, you were heading in that direction anyway, but tighter budgets, tighter belts kind of forced the hand a little bit. Are we seeing other innovations, other technologies, other, fresh ideas to make sure that, the public is protected, even though belts are tightened?
Yeah, so we're always looking at what's sweeping across the country and common practices. Of course, drones and many other applications. Drones as first responders, where they're just all over the city and get there places before officers get there and be monitored from a real-time crime center, to increasing our partnerships for license plate readers and crime cameras, and then all the technology that goes into the crime carriers. Everything from gun detection software using AI. As technology is just increasing, it's just a real force multiplier for us.
You care if we walk down that path a little bit?
Sure.
Because we had the shot spotters that I think were becoming obsolete. What did we do to get back out in front of the curve? Yeah,
so shot spotter, not really obsolete. It is a good system. It's just when you're looking at, I think about 87 square miles, the city of limits of Baton Rouge are, and then the shot spotter only covering about 8.5 square miles. So, about 10% of the total city limits, and then it just being cost kind of prohibitive to expand it. Those areas that we do have it does work, and it does work well, pinpointing exact GPS locations where shots are fired. But we're really trying to lean into other systems, other things, like the crime cameras and license plate readers to help us all over the entire city.
Crime cameras and license plate readers are unbelievably valuable assets. However, keeping up with technology can be difficult. How, in that world, how fast does the technology move, and how tough is it to keep up?
Yeah, so basically, everybody put in kind of cell phones and laptop. Kind of, everybody knows you have a laptop. A few years later, you depending on what you're wanting to use it for, you probably need to start looking at kind of upgrading, unless all you're doing is Microsoft Word on it. But the more systems you're trying to put on there, the more high-speed video editing you're going to need to do. As technology gets better, those things kind of have to get refurbished, relooked at. And so staying on the cutting edge is definitely something that we have to rely on partnerships with, the HOAs, the crime prevention districts, the private and public funding, to keep all that technology up to date as best we can.
Baton Rouge Police Chief TJ Morse with us for a couple more minutes. Keeping with that, though, the logistical end of this, it can't be the easiest. I know we've got the real-time crime center, but if you're talking about shots heard on a shot spotter, followed by a license plate reader a block away, followed by putting a drone up in the air, how do we funnel everything back and make sure all those logistics are coordinated?
Yeah, so all that's really funneled through our real-time crime center. It's a state-of-the-art place that we have at headquarters. We have departments from all over the country that are constantly coming to look at it and tour it and they want to replicate it, because all that gets funneled right there, and we have officers that man it. Detectives will go in there and get with those officers, and even civilians that are crime analysts that work up the cases, and they can really track, hey, we got this vehicle, in this area, then it went to this area, then it went to this area, just looking from license plate reader to license plate reader, and then tap it into those crime cameras, and even the ones that aren't actual crime carriers, but cameras that we can get shared to us just through a link from a Ring doorbell camera or outside of a convenience store, and those things can get downloaded and sent to the real-time crime center, and then for us to house forever.
Are we deep enough into the woods on this to be able to track like how much more effective things are with this versus the way it was before?
I don't have those analytics right now. I think that's something that it would be really interesting to work up there.
Yeah, you're talking about a huge data set to be able to like really break down the numbers.
And you're talking about technology. It really was just being able to track license plates. But now with AI and that built into the software, same cameras, but now the software has gotten better. So we don't need a license plate. We can say, hey, we're looking for a blue Honda.
Right.
We're looking for whatever car, and it can do the analysis for us, and we don't have to just look. So the vehicle doesn't have a license plate, but we don't know the license plate, but we can put out just certain specific things about the vehicle.
We got Baton Rouge Police Chief TJ Morse sitting with us. I want to pivot over and talk about something that has been brought to my attention a lot, and I don't know how much of this is just rhetoric, how much is rumor, or how much is actually true. But I'm hearing more and more people talk about the way that crimes are reported is different now than it used to be. Can you walk me through like what changes we've seen in the last couple of years?
So I think the big push, and it's been over the last, several years, 3-4 years, is just the push of LIBORs and NIBORs, Louisiana Incident-Based Report System, National Incident-Based Report System. So, the way things are, especially across states, you go to California, they have, grand theft auto and breaking and entering, and where here we have auto theft and simple burglary. So across the country, you have crimes that are called different things depending on where you are in the country. And so it's just a way of, hey, locally, you may call it this, but the national reporting system wants you to call it this. And so it's a way just to kind of track stats, track national trends, local trends on everything from just burglaries to homicides and property crimes to violent crimes.
Does that ever affect the level of crime that it is? I mean, if our description has to match, say, California's, do we have to change what we're actually doing?
No, it's basically, hey, all of your burglaries, I don't care what you call them, but they fit into this category, right, of this burglary. You might have some people have different crime, for a vehicle burglary or a shed burglary or a business burglary or a house burglary, but they're going to call it all a burglary.
Right.
And so it's all, just fitting it into that national model. It's one of the reasons why, just a couple of years ago, we switched to the Axon report writing system, because it makes it a lot easier to follow and make sure that we are in compliance with the NIBOR's regulations.
Very cool stuff. And I mean, this is really just a matter of things that just need to catch up.
Yeah.
Basically.
And it, of course, a little bit of manpower intensive. We have civilians and, people that have to sit there and, the officer writes the report. A lieutenant then looks at the report and approves the report. Then the report goes into another division, and we have civilians and officers in there that look over the report again and make sure that is NIBORs and LIBORs compliant, and then a final approval so that report can be finally approved.
Oops. Because when you say there's an officer that writes a report, the part that you're leaving is there's an officer who has written a report one way for the last 20 years who has to readapt, and then the lieutenant has to readapt. Like, it's the readaptation. I think that's probably where
a few more boxes that have to be checked, because it goes more than just categories. They want to know, make sure that we have the right race and sex of the suspect, because they want to track all of that, and whether what kind of tool was used to do the property damage, or was it a cutting instrument, was it a blunt force instrument, all these other boxes that now have to be checked.
Yeah. We got 2 minutes left, so I want to pivot over to there is a fundraiser going on to put Caleb Eisworth's name on. I'm gonna get it wrong. Is it a police wall?
Yeah, so in Washington, D.C., they have the National Law Enforcement Memorial. Every year, they add names to that wall of the law enforcement officers that were killed in line of duty from the previous year. Every year in May, they call Police Week. Unfortunately, Sergeant Eisworth's name has been added to that wall. His family is going to be going that week along with an escort officer, and we want to send as many officers as we can to also be a part of that. I had the privilege, honor, unfortunately, to go in 2024 when we honored 4 officers that were added to that wall, 2 from our crash, and then 2 were in line of death duties from COVID.
Wow.
And so going with those families, I got to see firsthand just how much it meant to the families and to the other officers that were able to go. This year, we're kind of reaching out to the public to help us send more officers than we would normally send. Sergeant Eisworth had a big impact being in the traffic division and motors, and we have a lot of officers that would like to go, be there, support each other, get that feeling, help be with the family, week-long of events that are really just, emotional support, all those kind of things. But our budget doesn't allow us to send as many officers as we'd like.
Right.
So that's kind of why we're partnering up with Law Enforcement Criminal Justice Foundation and the union to help raise some money so that we can send more officers than we could afford to.
How can the folks help?
On our Facebook page, we signed a way that you can go through the Law Enforcement Criminal Justice Foundation website, donate some money, put in the remarks that it's for Police Week or Sergeant Eisworth, and that money will get sent to us to be able to buy plane tickets, hotels, all those kind of things, the money it takes to send them there.
Tell you what, when we post this audio on demand, we'll include the link on it right there, so it'll be available there as well. He is Baton Rouge Police Chief TJ Morse. We always appreciate the time, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Brian. Appreciate you. Next time.
Oh.
Next time, brother. Yes, sir. Yeah, always. Take care.
Take care. Bye. Have a good week.
You too. You too.
So I want to apologize. I can tell. My mom actually noticed it last week. She's like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, probably TMI, but I'm on a new medication.
Very positive about your potential in this role, and where you're excelling greatly. But the discipline's got to. Hey, we're good. You're all right.
I'm just making sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, believe me, I'll get frustrated from time to time. But if I'm upset, you'll know.
Oh yeah. Oh, I know that.
Because I started as a producer, so beyond anything else, I take that shit very seriously. So.
And we're both COVID senses.
Well. Thought you were counter.
That's Alondra. I'm a phobic.
Gotcha. One Bath and Closets. O-N-E. Spell out the one. OneBathAndClosets.com. When was your house built? And have you done any upgrades? And if you're thinking about doing some upgrades, Christy and I did this towards the end of the year last year. Did it. This was our Christmas present to each other. We went and got a new master bathroom. And I got to tell you, it is certified James approved. This is how great our master bathroom came out. Our 9-year-old son is now coming downstairs every night saying, "Can I shower in y'all's bathroom?" Absolutely, you can. David Duvall and his team got my 9-year-old worried about his hygiene. How about that? As a ringing endorsement. Certified James approved. Now, all kidding aside, y'all, we could not be happier with the result. When we called 400-8005, we got a hold of David Duvall and his team over at One Bath and Closets. They walk us through every step of the process. They are intricate, they are detail-oriented, and they're here to make sure you get what you are looking for. Our house was built in 1964. Oh, it was due for an upgrade. We hit up One Bath and Closets. You can as well. OneBathAndClosets.com. All right. Where are we right now? Oh. We are just a month away, minus a day. We're less than a month away from the opening of the legislative session. And shout out to our news partners at Louisiana Radio Network for pulling this story together. Danny McCormick looks like he's going to be back at it with the constitutional carry cause. Danny McCormick sponsored a bill, or he has in the past, to carry a gun without a permit, constitutional carry. It became legal in Louisiana in 2024, but he's not done with just constitutional carry because the where becomes a big issue. McCormick's filing a bill that would allow teachers and students and the public to constitutional carry on college campuses.
Just extending the gun right onto college campuses that actually get state funding. Any private colleges that don't get state funding won't be included in that.
And they don't need to be. That's their land. That's their property. That's their call. 100%. I completely agree with that. McCormick says a group of college students encouraged him to file this legislation. Cut 8.
Being the Second Amendment champion that I am, I don't see why the right to self-defense is done away with when you come to a college campus, and that's why I filed the bill this year.
So similar legislation has failed to receive legislative approval in previous years. University officials have expressed concerns about allowing students to possess guns on campus, but McCormick says a student should have the ability to defend themselves in an active shooter situation.
If you're 18, you're able to die for your country. You ought to be able to defend yourself against murderers and rapists, even if it's on a college campus.
No, that's great, Danny. That's fantastic, Representative McCormick. I hear you on that front. But can we get very, very real, very, very fast? Look at LSU's campus real quick, okay? If you're just driving through LSU's campus and you have your gun on you, is there anything that stops you? Like, you're not at a gate to check your weapon? I mean, yes, when you get into the heart of campus, you got to stop to have a parking permit to get beyond there. You got to know you've got permission to get beyond there, but there's nothing about a weapons check along the way. But here's where I want to get very real, very fast. And that is when you're on a college campus, you're on a great expansive land, and your walk from class to car isn't guaranteed to be safe. And as an American, you should have your right to defend yourself on that walk, especially at night, right? I mean, think about it. If you've got like a late class at SEBA, they don't call it SEBA anymore, Taylor Hall, and you're making that walk across the street into the parking lot, your car's a little bit deeper in the parking lot than you wanted it to be because you got there while other students were there, and you're getting out at like 8:30, 9 o'clock at night, you need a little protection. You want a little protection, and you should be afforded said protection. Look, I know the fact that it's an institute of higher learning and an educational campus, and I realize where that argument's going to go, but it's also a small city within a bigger city. I think this is an easy fix. We'll get Danny McCormick on it soon. Hour 3's next.
Okay, so I did a little bit of digging.
Mm-hmm.
It was not spelled out, but that's okay. That's on me for not asking more questions. ABC News, no commercials for ABC News. Straight to the Olympic report. So just news, Olympic report, commercials on the back end of the Olympic report. That's what.
Do
what
we have a spot that we're supposed to clear from ABC?
That's what I asked Katie. So I just emailed back and I was like, I'll see what I did wrong. I wasn't supposed to take commercials out of ABC News. I'm gonna wait till he comes back and clarifies.
Yeah, because if we're supposed to clear if there's a spot we're supposed to clear, then he needs to reset the timing of it to 03 instead of 02.
Okay.
So yeah.
He'll email back.
Yeah.
And that's what I should have asked more questions. When he originally emailed us on Friday, I should have been like, hey, we got commercials that come out of ABC.
Yeah.
What's the old saying? It's better to ask a million questions than not know.
Looks like Miguez is gonna be on the hotline, damn it. I know.
I'm gonna turn you.
What you say, bro? You
Dude, let me tell you something. I think I was in 6th grade at St. Stephen's on Napoleon. All the animals escaped Audubon Zoo. And they locked down St. Stephen's, and we still had to stay in school and go to school. There was a day in this country when a freaking Catholic diocese Catholic school didn't shut down because half the teachers and half the kids are sick. Stay home, stay home. There was a time in this country where you didn't have little sissy schools shutting down because a couple of kids are sick. And by the way, probably 80% of those kids could go to school, but their parents are in their 30s. They liberal, woke, progressive parents. Oh, he's got a little snot bubble. Oh, no, stay home. And she can't suck it up because she's taking off to go protest. Bullshit.
Rich.
Sorry.
I know, coming in hot, Rich. You should have fire coming out of your
It's a joke. It's a joke. Don't shut down a Catholic school. You do a public school when it could be a thunderstorm in 48 hours.
Right.
Rich. Catholic school. It's true. It's a joke.
St. Paul's was open during Andrew. How about that?
Dude, they had me on top of St. Stephen's licking my finger when Betsy was coming in.
We shut down the second day of Andrew.
Hey, Chad, don't y'all love Condon?
Hey, Rich. At least you're not walking out to go protest. Like Liberty High. Which, by the way, I appreciate the heads up. But that was happening.
It didn't happen like I thought.
No, it was happening in real time. I thought they were planning it. But it was already happening when
they knew about it, though. I didn't know.
Yeah, I didn't.
But Baton Rouge High wasn't mentioned, so. Tell you what, if I was single, I'd go out.
They all dyed their hair a different color blue.
Today, if I can't work, they'll be out there again.
You think?
Oh, he's great. Condon, they said you must be feeling really well. You feel really well today. You.
Every damn day.
Maddie says every damn day.
Yeah, that's Matt. He's a normal chat.
Hey, man, how you doing? I want to tell you something. All right.
Matt, what king cake you said you got? Didn't you get the Bavarian cream?
Bavarian.
Bavarian.
From the Bavaria. From the region of Germany.
Do you know I always put an R in there? Always.
Well, and you also added a B. Well, you had like Conan the Barbarian. No, it's just Bavarian. Oh my God!
What? We got news that broke.
Brittany Rose's post.
Yeah, she's pregnant.
I didn't know this.
Yes, she's pregnant.
Shit.
You see the new Bob?
I see it now. I never see her.
Yeah, that's true.
806 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. Hour 3 coming your way right now. Brian here with you. Bree Lynn producing. We are starting off the 8 o'clock hour at 57 degrees in downtown Baton Rouge. I will tell you this, though. We're like crammed up in the studio. I've not put eyeballs on outside. I don't know if the fog's burned off yet. Like, legitimately don't know. So.
And the heater is still going from last week.
Bro, I can't even. Hang on 1 second.
I know. Hold on. He wants to actually.
Oh, we're good. Sorry, checking the Doppler window. It appears that we're good right now. It's bright and sunny out there.
Oh,
So,
okay.
Yeah. So at least downtown Baton Rouge, we're in the clear. Got a busy hour for you this hour. State Senator Blake Miguez wants to be the District 5 congressman. He's gonna be on the hotline in our next segment. It has been forever since we've caught up with Blake. Our schedules just behind the scenes. The schedules have crossed paths like 5 different times in the last month and a half. Been trying to get him back on. So very much looking forward to this. I want to talk about the pivot from the Senate race to the congressional race. He's probably going to tell me something about a path to victory, and I'm going to say, no, you're Blake Miguez. You go do whatever you think you can do. We're going to talk about where he's at in this race. We have a number of really good candidates in this race. So looking forward to that conversation. Also this hour, Congressman Troy Carter, a little DC Current presented by LABI, the Louisiana Association of Business and Industry. Learn more about them at labi.org or learn more about them by tuning in tomorrow when the good folks at Advantis Consulting are sending us out to the LABI annual meeting. Looking forward to that as well. So that's your full-on programming report. Right now, though, time to roll back the clock. Time for This Day in History.
All right, 1763, the Treaty of Paris has officially ended. The 7 Years' War in France ceded New Orleans and the rest of the Louisiana Territory west of the Mississippi.
No kidding.
Yep, to Spain.
That's fantastic.
1918, Russia declares that they are leaving World War I. 1933.
We're out. That's it.
I'm done. Stands up, declares, I'm out.
It's just somebody stood up and said, deuces.
1933, Adolf Hitler proclaims the end of Marxism.
No
Excuse
kidding.
me. I almost had a hiccup right there. Yep. 1940, the first Tom and Jerry cartoon, Puss Gets the Boot, is released in theaters by MGM. I didn't realize that was
that old.
Yes.
Yeah, Tom and Jerry, older than you think. Yep.
Oh. All right, let's see. 1947, World War II peace treaty signed.
Okay.
1954, President Dwight Eisenhower warns against U.S. intervention in Vietnam. 1993, Michael Jackson talks to Oprah Winfrey, airs on ABC, and draws an astounding 39.3 rating with 90 million people watching that. I remember when that came out.
I don't.
So it was just so long and very depressing and just sad. And he opened up all sorts of things. Gosh, you don't remember that? It was at his, he talked about his mansion. He talked about the Pepsi commercial.
Okay.
Where he got burned up. It was a very good interview.
Okay.
1997, O.J. Simpson jury reaches decision on $25 million in punitive damages.
Okay.
Had to throw in O.J. Had to. No Bronco today. What about you?
On this day in 1942, Glenn Miller receives the first ever gold record.
Really?
He got it for Chattanooga Choo Choo. On this day in 1934, New Orleans Lakefront Airport opened.
Oh.
Yeah. That's a gorgeous building, by the way. Still is.
Yep.
On this day in 1992, Mike Tyson was convicted of raping Desiree Washington.
Yeah, I had that on there.
Yeah.
I just didn't want to be too morbid with OJ. And that.
You chose OJ over Mike?
Yeah.
All
Today
right.
I did. All right. Happy birthday to Emma Roberts, 35 today. Craig Campbell, he's the
Hang on. Which one is Emma Roberts?
All right, hold on.
Because I always get them jammed up. I get them confused.
Oh, okay. So she is known for, I want to say this is the second season of American Horror Story in Coven. She's also known for Aquamarine, for her performance in Aquamarine.
Okay.
The Nickelodeon series, Unfabulous, she was in that one. For a while, it was a thing. All the girls were watching it. Her parents are Eric Roberts. Oh, she is the niece of Julia Roberts.
There you go. Okay.
Yep. All right.
Eric Roberts is her dad?
Yeah.
All right. Eric Roberts, good friend of the show. No, friend of the show, not good friend of the show.
I was like, okay,
Yeah.
you know everybody.
No, Eric's been on a couple times.
Oh.
No, he loves coming down to New Orleans. We had him on. What was he filming down there? We've had him on a couple times, but yeah, it's been a minute. We got to catch up with Eric.
Elizabeth Banks is 51 today.
Okay.
Let's see. There was one I had in Robert Wagner, 95 today.
All right.
Who you got?
I've got a few here. Radio personality Glenn Beck was born on this day in 1964. Political commentator George Stephanopoulos, born on this day in 1961. Jim Cramer, born on this day in 1955. You know him from his unbelievably loud money show. He actually used to be a really good radio guy too. Jim Cramer, born on this day in 1955. Moose Daryl Johnston, former Dallas Cowboy, born on this day in 1966. Former New Orleans Zephyr, Lance Berkman. Most of this audience knows him from when he played at Rice against LSU. He was also a Houston Astro for quite some time. Lance Berkman, born on this day in 1976. Greg Norman, the Australian golfer Greg Norman, born on this day in 1955. And born on this day in 1963, none other than Nails.
Oh.
Lenny Dykstra.
Huh. Unfortunate deaths on this day. There's a lot. I'm only going to go through a few. Lori Wilder, American author of the Little House series. Okay. Shirley Temple, American child actress. Mm-hmm. Also, let's see, Roy Scheider. He is known for his role in Jaws. He unfortunately passed away on this day.
Chief Brody.
Yeah.
You did say Shirley Temple, right?
Yep, I did say Shirley.
We've got our guest already on hold, so let me go ahead and hit a quick break. It is 8:13. We're coming back with State Senator Blake Miguez next. Please make sure that's him real quick. Yep. Please make sure that's him real quick. Blake. Hey, doing all right, man. We just went into break, so give us about 2 minutes, okay? Cool. Thanks.
Which one, Matt?
Trying to think of how to launch into this interview because I haven't talked to him since he moved over from the Senate race to the congressional race, and I don't know how to. I'm not biased towards I don't endorse candidates, but I really, really, really like Blake, and when people compromise, I get bummed. $8:15, Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP, mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. Time to dive into the 5th Congressional District race. Yes, the 5th Congressional District race. Joining us now is State Senator Blake Miguez. Blake, how are you, man?
Brian, good morning. How's everything?
Going well on this end. We got a lot to catch up on because you and I, like, our schedules have just not gelled or matched up for quite some time now. So this is going to be kind of
a lot of things going on the last few weeks, so we got a lot to talk about.
Yeah, we absolutely do. I want to start with the obvious elephant in the room, if we could. You were one of the first ones in on the U.S. Senate race, and now you've pivoted over to the 5th Congressional District. Please tell us why.
That's a great question. You know, Brian, I'll bring you back to June when I announced for the U.S. Senate, and I made some promises that I was going to stand with President Trump. I was going to put America first, and I was always going to fight for the people of Louisiana. And most specifically, I was going to fight to make sure that our children and grandchildren grew up in a country as great as the one that our grandparents left us. Well, as you know, several weeks ago, President Trump endorsed Julia Letlow, a Congresswoman, to be his endorsed candidate for the U.S. Senate. I've got to be honest, it threw me for a loop, and I took some time, prayed about it, spent time with family, and reflected. But, you know, when it comes down to it, the mission has never changed, and my support for President Trump has never wavered. So I made the decision to withdraw my candidacy for the United States Senate out of respect for the president and his endorsement of Julia Letlow. And instead, I announced that I will be seeking to represent the people of the 5th Congressional District, the same seat that Representative Letlow will be vacating. And I'm just so honored and grateful to have this endorsement and the full support of President Trump. And I'm able to hit the ground running with a full campaign operation in place for my U.S. Senate race, support from 1,000 Louisianans across our state, and in Senate and in Congressional District 5 who want MAGA representation in Washington, D.C.
State Senator Blake Miguez congressional candidate Blake Miguez is our guest. All right, then we're going to go from one elephant in the room to another, and that is, while you do not have to be from the congressional district you're running in, ERATH is nowhere close to the 5th. So talk to me a little bit about the uphill battle that will be you introducing yourself to this this district that covers so much ground.
Well, Brian, it's no secret that I live in New Iberia, and I've represented there in the state Senate for a number of years. But what most folks don't know about me is that my roots in Baton Rouge are nearly as deep as my roots in New Iberia. I've owned a home in Baton Rouge since the late 90s. I attended LSU. I'm a proud graduate and a fighting tiger. And after I got my law degree in Baton Rouge, I decided to expand my family business, and we opened up a location in 2010, and we've been doing business in Baton Rouge for over a decade. So the majority of my life, I've had 2 homes. And I can tell you that when I'm elected to be the congressman for Congressional District 5, my home here in Baton Rouge will be my primary residence because I want to live close to the people that I represent. I want to hear their challenges, understand their struggles, and be a loud voice in D.C. and deliver results for them.
All right, then, okay, so that walks us down the path of you know us. How do we know you? Like, let's talk about that other end, the campaigning end, because you've got to cover a lot of ground. This is Baton Rouge is population-wise the heart of the district, right? But you got to run all the way up to Monroe. You've got to run all the way over to Washington Parish, to Franklinton. Like, talk to me a little bit about introducing yourself on the back end.
Well, look, there's a number of candidates in the race that live much further than the heart of the district and the Florida parishes of Baton Rouge than I do, and they have those same challenges.
Mm-hmm.
But what I plan on doing over the next 90 to 100 days before the election is getting out in the district, meeting with people that live in this district, understanding what their struggles are, and being a strong voice for them in D.C. And I plan on working very hard to earn their trust and their support to be their next congressman. And I can tell you that I'm going to work just as hard as I did in the Louisiana legislature and be the best congressman that they've ever seen, because I'll never give up on them. And like President Trump said, he said, when he called me a MAGA warrior, he said that he told the people of Congressional District 5, you can trust him because he will never let you down. And I'm never going to let the people of Congressional District 5 down.
Talk with congressional candidate Blake Miguez for a couple minutes here, talking about the campaign in the district. Have you talked to Julia Letlow just to kind of get the lay of the land of what she's been doing within that district, what the wants, needs, and desires of the constituents are?
Yes, when I decided to suspend my race for the U.S. Senate, I gave Representative Letlow a courtesy call, and I tell you, it was a very heartfelt conversation. And, you know, we talked a lot about the district, how widespread it is, how, this district goes all the way from Arkansas through the Mississippi Delta, down to Baton Rouge, through the Florida parishes, all the way over to Mississippi.
Mm-hmm.
But, we talked about most in that phone conversation, our young children and the country that they would grow up in. And at the end of the day, the reason why I made this decision to run for this seat is because of my loyalty to President Trump, and it would be in the best interest of the people of Louisiana. And whether it's up in Northeast Louisiana in the cornfields and soybean fields there, or it's down into the Baton Rouge metro, or it's across the Florida parishes, the cattle and the horse ranches, I'm going to be a strong voice for those people, because this district is very widespread.
Mm-hmm.
It has a great balance between being rural and being a metro area. And I feel like I am the best candidate for this race, and President Trump feels the same. And that's why he's given me his full confidence and his full endorsement and support to be the next congressman for the 5th Congressional.
Talk with Blake Miguez for a couple minutes. So for those in Baton Rouge that don't know you yet, and I mean, you've been on this show a number of times, so hopefully we've got enough return audience to know you. But for those that don't know you yet, talk to me a little bit about who you are and what has brought you to this point in your career. Give us the resume.
Well, I'll tell you, the people in Baton Rouge and the people across Congressional District 5 deserve a leader who's going to put America first and stand with President Trump. And that's exactly what I did over the last decade in the state legislature. The president called me a MAGA warrior for a reason. It's because I fought for the America First agenda in Baton Rouge. Some of the things that I worked on and I authored legislation, I'm the guy who banned sanctuary cities. I passed MAHA legislation. I'll pass legislation that keep men out of women's sports and bathrooms, fought to lower taxes, to control our cost of living. And also I fought for election integrity, to get those Zuckerbucks out of our election system.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things I'm most proud of is to being a Second Amendment warrior. I passed constitutional carry, giving our Second Amendment rights and strengthening those for the citizens across this great state. So I've got a record of delivering the MAGA agenda in Baton Rouge, and I'm going to do the exact same thing when I support President Trump and deliver that MAGA agenda in D.C. And I'm going to deliver for the people of Congressional District 5.
Let's talk about the Second Amendment for just a minute. We're going to get personal here, because when you put out that first commercial, this was before you moved over races, when you put out that first commercial and you had firearm in hand, taking shots, which I personally love the spot. But for those that don't know you, it might have caught them a little bit by surprise. Tell the folks a little bit about your background and why the Second Amendment is so important to you.
Yeah, the Second Amendment is one of my key issues. And I'll tell you, in 2025, when we started this session as a state senator under Republican governor's leadership, we passed some of the most sweeping Second Amendment legislation in the entire country. We made Louisiana a Second Amendment powerhouse. But I've had a long history of being a former world champion shooter. I've traveled the world for the last 30 years. I'm a national and world champion formerly. And I also had a stint on a reality TV show called Top Shot on the History Channel about 15 years ago. I was on 3 seasons. So the Second Amendment is very close to my heart, and it's something that your next congressman needs to fight vigorously to defend. Just like I fight to defend innocent life in the womb, I'm going to defend your Second Amendment rights when I get to D.C.
We got Blake Miguez on with us. He is running in the 5th congressional district. I want to go back to the geography of the district, if we could, for a minute, Blake, and talk about, you know, I know there's overall an overall agenda that folks in Washington Parish and folks in Washita Parish would share, but individually, have you been able to get, you know, boots on the ground to get to learn a little bit more about how things are different in different parts of the area?
Well, that's what I plan on doing over the next 100 days and all the way up until the general election. Look, I've served in the state legislature for 11 years, and I've heard their concerns, and I've helped fund a lot of projects, and I've helped the legislators in those areas support those areas. But the most important thing for me right now is to get out in the district, to meet with folks, to understand their struggles, and to make sure that we can keep their daily lives affordable. That's a huge issue in this district. And this district has a lot of diverse needs. And I think right now they need someone with experience, someone they know that'll support President Trump and the America First agenda. Mm-hmm. Most importantly, someone who will listen and someone that they can trust because of my background to deliver for them when I get to D.C. And that's what I intend on doing.
You mentioned 100. It was actually below 100 days before the primary. This is our first time dealing with the closed primary system. Has it affected your, you know, your plan of attack, your strategy, how you're going to go about things?
Well, I can tell you, we sit in a great position in this race. I have President Trump's endorsement. I have the backing of the largest conservative group in the nation called Club for Growth. And I have nearly $4 million of cash on hand for my U.S. Senate race. So I'm going to take that groundswell of support that I have and carry it over into this race. And I believe we're going to be extremely successful because our message is going to resonate to all areas of this district, to all the media markets, to all the farms, to all the cities. And they're going to understand that I'm going to support President Trump. I'm going to put America first. But most importantly, I'm going to fight like hell every day to make sure that the country that our grandchildren grow up in is as good as the country that our grandparents left us. And that's the most important thing, is the future and our children. And, you know, I'm a candidate that has young children.
Yeah.
I have a 23-year-old, a 21-year-old, 11-year-old, and a 6-month baby girl at home. I can't fail. Everything is on the line because I want to make sure those kids grow up in a great country. I'm going to fight for them.
What do you consider your specialty? Let me give you some background. With Congresswoman Letlow, we would say the educational background is her specialty. With Senator Cassidy, the medical background is his specialty. What's your specialty?
Well, I've got a lot of specialties. I'm a jack of all trades, but what most importantly is I'm a businessman. My family's been in the oil and gas business for over 50 years. I understand economics. I understand that if we want to be successful, we need to make sure that we have good paying jobs for the people in Louisiana. We also understand how to control a budget. I understand that we have $38 trillion of debt, and we spend $1.9 trillion budget deficit each year. We've got to get that under control to control inflation and to make sure America stays a strong powerhouse. Obviously, you know, I'm strong on the Second Amendment.
Yeah.
I'm also strong on immigration. I want to make sure to help support President Trump to keep our borders secure, because we got to keep this fentanyl off of our streets. We got to keep sex trafficking out of our country, and we got to make sure to keep terrorists and criminals out of our country. And I fought for election integrity. There's no battle, Brian, that I won't take on if it puts America first and improves the lives of our children. And I'm going to fight when I get to D.C. to deliver those same results. And that's why I have the president's full endorsement and support, because he recognizes that. He knows that I'm going to be a MAGA warrior. He knows I'm not going to let the people down. And he knows that I'm going to fight every day for Louisiana.
Last one before we get you out of here. We got 90 seconds left with a congressional candidate, but also state senator Blake Miguez. In between now and election day, you're going to have to do your day job or your part-time job a little bit as well. Walk me through how you plan on attacking this upcoming legislative session.
Yeah, I'm waiting to see what's going to be the sort of the main issue for the session. Those things always develop sort of on the fly. Mm-hmm. We're working on some legislation. I won't tell you what it is just yet, but that's going to support President Trump's America First agenda. I'll get a few more things done in Baton Rouge, but I plan on supporting our governor and our legislature to make sure that we keep delivering for the people of Louisiana. And look, we're in our regular session, so we'll be there for 90 days. And I'll be excited to keep you posted on all of our work once we get it done.
Got to get you back in studio next time, Blake.
Yeah, I'll be there next time. I hope you have some breakfast and coffee waiting for me.
We with coffee for sure. Breakfast is hit or miss, but we shall. If you show up, we will make sure we have it for you.
Well, that sounds great. Well, look, I appreciate you having me on the show. Man. And look, if your listeners want to learn more about my campaign and learn more about me, they can go to BlakeMiguez.com, or they can follow me on Facebook or X, and go check out some of our Twitter feeds. And again, I am the endorsed candidate by President Trump for the 5th congressional race. I want to earn your trust. I want to earn your support. And I can tell you that I'm never going to let you down when I get to D.C.
He is Blake Miguez, running in the 5th. Man, we always appreciate the time. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, Brian.
Thank you. Absolutely. Hey, while we're talking campaigns, let me remind you about 5 Star Printing and Signs. Danny and his team. 271-4096 is the phone number there. 225, of course, 271-4096. We're going to have a stack of elections this year, y'all. I understand that there's a few candidates that have already hit up Danny and his team over at 5 Star Printing and Signs. Already hit up printshop5.com. Already got the big signs out there on the side of the road. Got the mailers on the way. Got the brochures on the way. Danny and his team, they do it all. They will collaborate with your campaign to make sure you are putting the best foot forward the entire way through. 5 Star Printing and Signs. I love the guy, but can he say MAGA a few more times? Holy shit. My problem is when the needs of the nation and the needs of the state are at odds. Where does your vote go then?
Okay, cool. He's going to set it to stop at 7:02.
Set what to stop?
News, just to dip out.
Okay.
No commercial. To where I have no reason to talk about it. Do you want Blake as feature today? I mean,
Everything today is good.
Pop culture wise, that
Legally served.
is just
I know. Content wise, though, it's
content-wise,
light.
it needs to be Blake. Our chief.
Or Lori.
Okay, you want me to do Franz and just do Blake?
I don't know.
But Chief was really good too.
Chief was really, really good.
I think content-wise needs to be the Chief then.
Probably.
Okay, I'll do him. I know. You've been on it today. Or your folks have been on it. It's been really good today.
Congressional district race, yes, special district race. Joining us now is the congressional district race. Congressional district race, yes, special district race. Joining us now is the Blake, how are you, man? Good morning. How's everything? I'm going well.
Nobody. In the damn TV commercial with this voice behind it.
Oh, I haven't seen it.
It's the same spot, just put a video on top of it. Good morning, Congressman. Hey, I'm doing well. We're gonna come to you in probably like a minute now. Okay, thank you so much.
Eight 837 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. We got Congressman Troy Carter coming up in just a second. Do need to remind you about the folks at Landmark Bank. LandmarkBankLA.com is where you're going to find them online. Where will you find them in real life? Well, go to LandmarkBankLA.com, hit the About Us tab. You'll get the locations and the hours right there. Why is it important to know locations? Because since 1897, they've been a community bank. They live in that space. They thrive in that space. They love that space. They love being part of an individual community. You're not going to find them all over North America. You're going to find them in Bruley. You're going to find them in Zachary. You're going to find them in Denham and a handful of other spots as well. Being part of a community is what sets them apart. Learn more at landmarkbankla.com. All right, it is time for DC Current. Congressman Troy Carter is on the hotline for DC Current, presented by LABI. Congressman Carter, how are you, man?
I'm doing fantastic, brother. How are you today?
I'm doing very well as well. I know we've got a lot of business to attend to, and I'm going to be completely irresponsible and start off completely off the page. Are you home for Mardi Gras, or are you still up in the Capitol? I mean, you ready to get some parading done?
I'm actually in the Capitol now, but we should finish by Friday, and I'll be home to do a little bit. And for the first time in a while, we actually will not be in session on Mardi Gras Day.
I remember that I remember that vividly from last year, and you did your level best to hide your bitterness about it.
I was clear to tell everybody that everywhere else in the world, it's just Tuesday.
Exactly. Lots you're working on right now, so let's get down to it. I want to start off with the Bipartisan Opportunity Youth Caucus. Tell me about this.
Yeah, we we recognize and we often talk about the importance of doing things for young people, giving them positive role models and opportunities, particularly in this day and age with all of the stress and strain with social media and peer pressure, that we come together to do something very special for our young people. So last week, I launched the Bipartisan Opportunity Youth Caucus along with Rep. Rob Bredesen, who is, in fact, a Republican. It's a bipartisan caucus to demonstrate that the issues of our young people, peer pressure, depression, anxiety, are not relegated to one party, one race, or one zip code. This caucus will focus on our attention on opportunities for youth, just as the name suggests. Young people from ages 16 to 24 who sometimes can be disconnected from school, work, or risk of disconnection because of so many exterior factors out there. The caucus will serve as an educational forum to exchange scope and impact, to listen, not just talk, but to gain friendships with our young people, get them to trust us more, create opportunities for them to see firsthand that the successes that they sometimes think are unreachable are really reachable, really attainable. I'm very proud of this and very excited about the work that it's going to do. Everything from, workforce, education, problem solving, policy solutions, long-term care, mental health, giving kids an opportunity to be exposed to government, to industry, to academia, to nonprofit, building their confidence. I'm very excited about what this can do to help build our next generation.
Well, and there's another part of this, Congressman, when you bring up the bipartisan part of this, is that generationally we're probably more siloed than we've ever been in the past. I mean, the more we're online, the more we're on social media, the more we just faction ourselves off into our own echo chambers. This breaks down those walls on a very real level.
Well, and it breaks it down. And listen, it does not take away the reality that people are going to have different ideas. Philosophically, Republicans, Democrats, Independents, not whatever, we're going to think differently and have different ideas. Doesn't mean any one is any better than the other. So when we speak bipartisan, it's not to erase party pride. I'm a proud Democrat, and my colleagues are proud Republicans. But it means that as proud Democrats and proud Republicans, we have an obligation to work together to come up with solutions that make America stronger and safer and more affordable for everyone. And what better way than to train our young people that just because you disagree with a person philosophically doesn't make them your enemy.
Well, no, and you said it yourself earlier on. You said to listen and not just talk. I think that's one of the bigger problems is we don't listen enough. And the more we can instill that at a younger age, the more we can make that habitual. And if it's more habitual, it'll be hopefully generational.
And listen, Rob Bresnahan, who's a Republican from Pennsylvania, we disagree on a lot of things, but we agree on this. Yeah. We agree that our young people deserve our full time and attention to build them to be the best people they can be. And that's not a partisan issue.
Congressman Troy Carter is our guest. This is DC Current, presented by the Louisiana Association of Business and Industry. Of course, we're taking the show on the road tomorrow for LABI's annual meeting. So you're not going to want to miss that from 6 to 9 tomorrow. In the meanwhile, Congressman, I want to pick up. So last week we got to talk about Washington Mardi Gras, and we completely derailed the whole segment. So, but you were working up some stuff last week within the district, an ICE field hearing. Can you bring us up to speed on what transpired and why?
Yeah, so we were fortunate enough, even in the midst of the very cold weather, the new mayor, Helena Moreno, and the council president, J.P. Morrell, were kind enough to open the city council chambers along with the entire city council to allow us to use their chamber, even though City Hall was closed, to host a Democratic field hearing from Homeland Security to talk about the overreach, if you will, of what's happening with ICE. Listen, we've all seen all over the country what's happening. We've seen the atrocities in Minneapolis. We've seen them happening in Louisiana. And while we recognize that there needs to be an agency to address and to deal with the issues of immigration. What we do not need is a Gestapo. We do not need a rogue group of officers who are walking around with guns and masks and parading themselves as law enforcement. In fact, they're violating the rights of our citizenry. This hearing gave us an opportunity to talk to the people directly. We had people from ACLU. We had people from the various organizations and advocates who are part of working with this. Amaro Lopez, Tanya Wolf, Reverend Sean Anglam. We had residents who had been impacted by unlawful search and seizure. We had them an opportunity to talk to members of Congress directly. The mayor and the councilman did an opening statement. We also visited an ICE intake facility to do what Congress does, and that's oversight. We're fortunate enough to have Ranking Member Benny Thompson from Mississippi with us. We had Seth Magaziner from Rhode Island and Tim Kennedy from New York, all members who braved the horrific weather to come to New Orleans, to come to Louisiana, to demonstrate to the people of Louisiana, while we support enforcement, we do not support the kind of overreach and disrespect for our Constitution and our rule of law, and the very citizens that make up this country being murdered literally on live TV. This is just too far. Today in committee, in just a few moments, we'll have ICE officials testifying before my committee in Homeland Security, and you can best believe we're going to be asking some of these very questions about constitutionality, about why, what are we going to do to enforce the law without violating the law? These are not questions that are abstract. These are not issues that are abstract. They're real, and they're weighing in on Americans' lives every single day. Regardless of where you live, you're seeing this pop up every single day.
Well, and we keep, we hear reports that more people were deported under previous presidents, but the question never comes up of okay, well, what were they doing right? What were they doing wrong? And why are we not replicating the right answers?
Well, if deportation of people who are illegal here, there should be a process. It is not a criminal matter, as you know, per the Constitution. It's a civil matter. So for a person to lose their life because someone overreached, if you talk to any Republican, Democrat, or other, you listen to the professionals, they will say these were gross matters of police overreach and excessive violence in both of these killings. Now, take it to the next step of talking about what this means when we have people that are not trained, right, who went from a 6-month training to a 47-day training. Come on. You're not trained in de-escalation. In fact, you've been given immunity by the president to say you can do whatever the hell you want. Well, no, Mr. President, you cannot. No, Secretary Noem, you cannot. No, Mr. Bavino, you cannot. We're American citizens. We have a Constitution, and we're entitled to the presumption of innocence until proven guilty. You cannot just summarily stop someone because they look a certain way or sound a certain way and arrest them or detain them because you think they may be an illegal alien. The president said he was going to come in and he was going to arrest and deport the worst of the worst, the murderers, the rapists. Mr. President, we support that. But we do not support what we've seen heretofore. Little ladies, people at work, people that are gainfully employed, trying to do the right thing to become citizens, being arrested, and even citizens being accosted on the streets of America. That's not what America signed up for, and we're not going to tolerate it.
We've got less than a minute to go with Congressman Troy Carter. I already know better than to ask you a question with less than a minute to go, but we haven't touched on the insurance affordability tour in New Orleans. Can you give me the quickest synopsis ever?
Yes, we recognize that insurance, both property and casualty and risk rating 2.0 and flood insurance are out of whack. We recognize that federal government is responsible for flood insurance, the state government is responsible for property and casualty. The whole idea of the tour is to, instead of running away from the problem, trying to run to a solution, bringing parties of all backgrounds together to figure out what are we doing wrong. We know that these 100-year storms come a lot sooner than 100 years now. We know we have an angry environment. We know that we're operating on a very antiquated system. Our plan with this tour is to delve deep into the root cause of what's causing insurance rates to go up, find ways to modify and to come up with newer solutions to give relief to people to be able to continue to own their home.
And we'll pick it up
and
there.
Those who want to buy them to purchase a home still.
And we'll pick it up there with follow-up next week. He's Congressman Troy Carter. Always enjoy the time, sir.
Bless you, my brother. Have a great week.
You too. Here's your money now.
Do you want to do Cassidy on whatever cup we've been trying to get to? Let me pull it up.
Oh, no, not today. Yeah.
Shark Week.
I need this in bigger print. I also need this to happen within a reasonable amount of time and not have a spinning wheel. Sorry, y'all. Didn't mean to yawn in everybody's face right there. Whew, dadgummit. All right. Chet. Fucking humps. No, the wheel of horrible traffic.
Right. If this burned up truck. Man said if this burned up truck would move.
$8:56 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. Got to remind you about Industry Makes. IndustryMakes.org is where you're going to find them online. Who is Industry Makes? What is Industry Makes? What do they do? Well, the short answer is just go to the website and learn more. Everything that we encounter in our lives, just about everything we encounter in our lives, is made through a process that is touches the Mississippi River in some way, shape, or form. Plastics, rubbers, tires, oil, gas, food, you name it, it's going to run through the Mississippi River at some point along the way. And the folks at Industry Makes are a joint effort by all those manufacturers, all those plants, all those industry workers who get together to put a united front forward to share the messaging that our industries have. Far too often, whenever anyone tries to get anything done, there's going to be naysayers that want to shoot them down. And that happens, like regularly that happens. Industry Makes is the combined effort to fight back with the narrative that says, yes, we're providing jobs. Yes, we're providing products. Yes, we're providing services. And yes, we are trying to do it the best we absolutely can. Learn more at industrymakes.org. Before we get out of here, I do want to touch on the announcement coming down yesterday. I mean, almost as soon as we got off the show yesterday, it broke that State Representative Dixon McMakin would not be running for Congress. He put a post up on his Facebook page that reads, "After a great deal of reflection, I've decided not to seek election as the next U.S. representative for Louisiana's 5th Congressional District. The decision comes down to the following facts. The people of our district elected me to serve in the Louisiana House of Representatives, and I am fully committed to continuing that mission. There is still too much unfinished business at the state level and too many important victories still to be won for Baton Rouge and our capital region." He talks about some of the wins so far, and he says, with a pivotal legislative session on the horizon, my full focus, energy, and commitment belong right here in the Louisiana legislature, where I continue fighting every day to deliver these kinds of tangible results for families, businesses, and values that we share. I appreciate Representative McMakin for the post. If you haven't read it, go read it. I will point out, and I'm going to point out to him, I haven't had a chance to talk to Dixon since he made the announcement. We texted back and forth a little bit, but I haven't really gotten to talk to him. I'm going to say this. If your butt's staying in the state legislature, you need to work on the state constitution. You took a swing at this before. If you want to do something monumental, let's get this bad boy going. Let's light this candle and get a state constitutional convention going. Swing. If you're staying home, swing for the fences. Absolutely. But the turn of events in these races has been, as a Republican, I want to say disheartening. As a pragmatist, I understand all of them. Having Blake Miguez move from the Senate race to the congressional race pragmatically makes sense. Having Julie Emerson drop out pragmatically makes sense. But there's a piece of me, and I know it's Pollyanna, but there's a piece of me that as a constituent, I want the best possible candidate in each and every race, and iron sharpens iron, and that means everybody should be in for the fight. So we'll continue with it later on. Tomorrow we'll be at Lobby. We'll see you later. All right, Facebook. Let me just continue that little rant right there, okay, guys. I understand that when I'm talking about Blake Miguez running for Senate versus Blake Miguez running for Congress, it's Blake Miguez's life that's at stake here. But when you are putting yourself up to be a public servant, you're putting your life on hold to help out others. And I realize I'm so idealistic on this front, and I apologize to no one for it. I want the best possible candidate in each race possible, because the best possible candidate is going to give me the best possible legislator, the best possible senator, the best possible representative. And iron sharpens iron. And if everybody gets in line and gets out of a race before it even friggin' starts, then we don't get iron sharpening iron. We get someone who doesn't have to be challenged for their seat. We get the biggest bankroll buying a damn election. And the shit of it is, everybody who is maneuvered within this is strong enough to take the top seats, or are strong enough to take the top seats. We have numerous candidates in the Senate race who will not just do the job while they're there, but do a great job to serve us, the public. When I see people make pragmatic decisions for a race that was shooting the freaking moon to begin with, when I see that, it disheartens me, because it makes me question, did you really want it in the first place? If you're going to have pragmatism about it, then watch this. It's always a sports reference, right? If pragmatism prevailed, the Atlanta Falcons would have a Super Bowl victory. But no, the New England Patriots said, shove that 28-3 lead up your ass. I don't want pragmatism. I want someone who's going to go out there and get it. So I'm fine being the pragmatist on the air. But damn it, show me that you want it. We'll see you tomorrow.